Let's just start it now. This is where I'll start the edit on YouTube. We'll start it right here. Welcome to NERDICIDE. Welcome to NERDICIDE. We're gonna do some fun things with Joe in a little bit. We're gonna pitch him a TV series idea, and he's gonna greenlight or a horror movie to TV series. We're gonna do that when Joe comes on. In the meantime, how's it going?
Yeah, more moving stuff around through the house. We got some furniture delivered today.
Nice.
Yeah, house stuff.
Well, that's good. Are you enjoying the new spot, though, at least?
It still feels like a stranger's place. Like,
Oh,
it's not home yet, but
I
I
get
don't know.
that.
Like, waking up here is very odd.
It's
Like,
like a
I'm surrounded
flood.
by my stuff, but it's somebody else's house still. So,
I mean, I get that. I lived that apartment in LA. I lived in for 12 years. So when I finally, my brain took a while for I was like, oh, I'm never going back there again. How strange.
yeah.
That was the
I
place I
feel like
always
I'm
ended
lucky
up.
to, like, actually, like, see it. Like, I can kind of see part of it from where we are
So
now.
yeah, that would be weird if I could still see my old apartment and I'm just like across the street. I would be too tempted to go like see what they did with the inside.
Like, there's like a
Um,
couple times already I've missed our road, just
oh
like not
really?
paying attention past it.
That's funny. Um, I feel like there's not really like because right now there's not really the only thing that's on right now is Falcon and Winter Soldier. Not as fun of a show to like watch and break down or talk about because it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the third episode yet, so
We watched the latest last night. Pretty good, but exactly where I thought it was going, and everybody's kind of meh about it, but I still like it. I
I definitely
you know
picked up on the second episode. That was way better than the first one.
I just feel like everyone's like, well, it's kind of meh, whatever, and I was like, well, these are like second tier characters, so I don't know
Yeah,
what you want. They're second tier characters on a second tier adventure. It's not gonna be Endgame every goddamn time. And WandaVision was so unique and strange that you're not going to get something like that anytime soon, or
yeah,
maybe ever again. Loki will probably be a little weird, but it's going to be Guardians, but less funny. I feel like,
yeah.
but I'm looking forward to that as well. Owen Wilson with a mustache, sign me up.
Wow.
Um, and then as far as movies, we could talk about Godzilla versus Kong. Although I feel like I'm not buzzed enough to rip it apart. And then it's kind of like, do you really like beat on such a silly movie? Like really like tear that one apart? Like well, it's so stupid that they did this in this giant monster fight movie. Kind of like That's one of those ones because a lot of people are like, oh, you forgive stuff for what it is, like kids movies or stuff like that. You're like you forgive stuff, and that I guess that one falls in that line as well. But I also think they did really dumb things.
Yeah.
And Millie Bobby Brown. Why? Why? I just can't believe that her and that guy like broke into this high tech place and then got shuttled across the ocean.
Yeah.
As pretty silly. And then like we were talking in the group chat, like the fact that you could sedate King Kong, but for some reason no one ever thought to sedate these monsters is like just such a fart of writing. And maybe it's because maybe Godzilla's got super strong skin. We'll just throw it into his mouth. Shoot him in the fucking mouth with a big or gas him.
Yeah.
If the sedative works on Kong and Kong can fight Godzilla in a fist fight, sort of, then the sedative should just work, right? On all of them. And then they could just be like, okay, well, now we're strapping these things to a rocket and shooting them into space. That's what should be every movie. Poof! Sedative. Tie it to a rocket, shoot it into space. Goodbye. Or send them all to the moon. Who cares if they fight on the moon?
That would be fun.
That's my movie. Other than that, it's been pretty slow. There's some people coming on. Ow, 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 ow. Bang, bang, bang. If you're joining us, welcome. We are just kicking shit. Kicking shit? No.
Kicking some shit.
Tonight's episode is sponsored by this Deftones beer. Ohms. A very expensive beer for a person who does not like beer.
There you go.
Tastes bitter. Oh, so I got a lot of T-shirts to show you. I don't know if we should do that. And I got toys. Well, check this out. First things first. I got this Creepshow 2 Arrow.
Nice.
I watched the first episode of that Creepshow. Did you watch that? Second season?
No, I actually was catching up with the first season because they put it on Amazon.
Oh, right.
And then they got the first 2 episodes from season 2 on, and I was falling asleep, so I didn't put it on. I didn't want to fall asleep and have to watch it again.
What was funny is I never actually finished the first season of Creepshow, and then I started the second one because I was like, maybe they have a bigger budget. And it seems like they do. Because I remember one episode I watched in the first one, I was like, this is so stupid, and I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. But I watched the first episode of the second season, and I was like, I guess that's okay. They basically do something straight out of one of the movies. They just redo a story, and then
Really?
pretty much, and then they do like an Evil Dead thing. Like they literally have an episode with the Necronomicon and Ted Raimi, who plays himself. It's really weird. Yeah, it's weird and unnecessary, and vaguely similar to a script idea I had a few years ago, but was not about the Necronomicon, but was about demons in a soundstage. Oh god, now I'm going to edit that out so no one steals the idea. Anybody who's watching, if you watch this is basically a virtual NDA. So if you steal any ideas on here, you get sued. By looking at this, you are agreeing to be sued. Just have a disclaimer at the beginning. But yeah, like let's just talk about last week. Last week I almost died.
Sure did.
Somebody out there will want to know. So apparently I found out my superpower is that when I get needles stuck into me, I faint. It's a pretty lame power, and it has no real life uses except for expensive hospital bills. And that's my life now. So what was wild is like because I posted about it last week after it all happened, and then this dude hit me up on here, and he's like, "Oh, I have that shit too." Blah blah blah, and he his is way bad. He like faints like all the time. He fainted in his car once while he's driving.
Jesus,
all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah. So it's crazy. So this thing apparently is called vasovagal. And it's basically like your body's like fight or flight trigger mechanism that like when you're like going through something, usually medical, you just faint like, and I didn't know this about myself. I got blood work done like a year and a half ago, and I fainted. And I thought it was just because I fast in the mornings and don't eat. Then I was like, oh, I just didn't eat, so I was low blood sugar. But when I keeled over last week, was that last week? Has it been a week? Fuck. No, yeah. Man, time is fucking flying. Narcolepsy. that would be better because I feel like it's not just like you fall asleep. I was in mid sentence. I literally, well, it was like we, Rosina's friend is a nurse, and she had hit us up like a month ago. I was like, oh, if we get any leftover shots, we'll call you and come that day. And so like they did, and like I was leaving the comic book store, and I was like, oh, I'll just drive straight there. And we met, and then Rosina went first. She got her shot first, and I was watching. And I'm not afraid of needles. I mean, I have a tattoo and shit. I'm not afraid of needles. Um, and all this stuff. I really don't think that it's gunpoint shit because I've had like high adrenaline situations and didn't faint. It's literally like a very specific thing. I think it's needles at the doctor's office. But I wasn't, because I'm not, I mean, what's weird is I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of blood. I'm not one of those squeamish people. But apparently it's just like a brain thing. It's just something in your brain. And I never really, like, when I was a kid, I got blood work all the time. And I hated it because I was a kid, but that's a different story. So I'm like, fucking, I get my shot, it doesn't hurt. And then I go sit down. There's this outside sitting area. And like, this chairs are spaced 6 feet apart, you know? And I was like to Rosina, I was like, oh, you know, how are you feeling? And she's like, oh, I feel okay. And I'll explain something else interesting about what's happening to me right now. So I'm like fucking, I'm like, oh, I feel okay too. And I kind of like look at my arm, and it's obviously there's nothing there. It's like just a little tiny Band-Aid. And I go, I feel kind of like a tingle. And then I was like, oh, I feel kind of warm in my arm. And then I was like, I feel kind of like, and then poof. Rosina just said I just hit I just keeled down, eyes open, face and knees first under the concrete. Because we were outside, so it was just like concrete. She told me after, she's like, I'll never forget the sound of your head hitting. It was like such a loud thud. And I was like, that's so fucking horrifying. Oh my God. And
so gross.
For me, it was like I was waking up from like a little nap. I was just like, I woke up, like I felt very relaxed. I was like opening my eyes, thinking I was waking up from bed or something, or a nap. Then my brain started processing, and it was like, oh, there's a bunch of nurses and a bunch of people are like, can you breathe for me? And they're like yelling a bunch of instructions and shit. And I was like, what? That's like, what's going on? And they're like, you fainted, you fell over. And like, they were about to give me an EpiPen because they thought I was having an allergic reaction. One of the nurses yelled, like, go get an EpiPen. They were about to stick me, but I woke up so fast. Like, I came to pretty quick, because they said when I was on the ground, my eyes were kind of rolled back. So they thought I was like going into shock or having a seizure from the actual vaccine. So I just woke up, and then like, we already called 911 and they're coming, and I was like, oh, I was so annoyed. I was like, oh God, really? And I was like, I couldn't see my face, you know? So I could feel like a sting on my head, and I was like, oh, I must have scratched it. And they're like, your face is all bloody, and I was like, oh, great. But then the ambulance, they could hear it coming, and then I'm like laying down, and they're just all like touching me, and like asking me. And then these dudes come, the paramedics, and they're like, then they're barking questions at me too. Like it was like a quiz on my life. When's your birthday? Who's the president? What city are you in right now? I was like, man, I would probably struggle with some of this. Just like if someone was barking me random questions, like when I hadn't hit my head. But I got them all right. Except I did say it was April when it was still technically March. and then they hooked me up, like we're doing blood pressure shit, like right there on the ground. They like slid the thing under me, and then they hooked me up to like whatever, the heart rate monitor. And which is really embarrassing because they lifted up my shirt in front of everyone, and it was just like everyone had to see my pale gut. Unpleasant. It's been a long quarantine. I haven't been working out. So that sucked. And that's what I was thinking the whole time because I'm such a vain piece of shit. I was like, oh God, I have my fats out. And they're like sticking all the things on me. And they're like, do you want to stand up? Can you stand up? I was like, yeah, I can stand up. So I started pushing myself up. As soon as I got up, I stood up and I was like, I just felt like the blood was going, ooh. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna. And I was like, and they're like, his blood pressure is dropping. And so they laid me back down. And then that's when they're like, oh, you should go to the hospital to check if you got a concussion or brain damage because you hit your head so
Did
hard.
they suggest anything to you for the second shot?
Well, when we go, like we're supposed to be scheduling it with her friends, who was the nurse who gave me the shot. Her husband's also a nurse, and we're supposed to go to his clinic this second time, so that way I can like lay down. So I'll basically, I'll probably be laying down and faint again, which is, I guess, better, but I really don't want to faint again. So there was a couple other really funny moments where like I've never been in an ambulance before, so that was new. Getting the ambulance ride was weird, and then like I'm in there and the guy's like he's getting all the stuff to like hook me up to fluids, and I was like, dude, don't stick me with a needle again. I was like, I don't want to fucking faint. He's like, oh yeah, you're probably right. It's a good idea. And I was like, I don't need fluids, man. I'm fine. Like, if my brain's messed up, fluids aren't gonna help. So he's like, okay. And so like I rode the whole way. Yeah. And so I get there and I'm like, oh, and the most dramatic part. So I'm like waiting on the outside because they have the outside triage now because of COVID. So I'm waiting like in a line of people getting checked in. And I'm like this. I go like this, and like huge clump of my hair, just like whoosh. I like look at my hand, and it's just like hair, clump of hair, and I go like this again, and more, and hair just kept coming off, and I could see it like floating away in the wind, like a light breeze was just taking all of my very thin hair like away, and I was like, and at that point I was like, is the vaccine making my hair fall out? Am I going full Lex Luthor right now? In like this fucking moment, I was so scared. And I called the one paramedic over. I was like, look at my fucking head. Is my hair falling out everywhere? Is it where? And he looks at it and he goes, it was just Australia. And he's like, oh, it just scalped you, mate. Just scalped you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it just like, and it's pretty, like I already had a very thin hairline, but now I have like a visible chunk here that's gone. Yeah, I don't know if it's ever going to come back. If the hair follicles are damaged or not. It wasn't a very deep cut since it healed so quick. I didn't need stitches or anything. It didn't bust my head open. So I'm hoping since it didn't split me, I won't need like to go get fucking hair transplant surgery, and get my back follicles sewed into the front at some point. Hopefully in like a month or so, they'll start to come back. And then the rest of the day was just waiting, like, because you know, if you've ever been to the emergency room, if you're not like bleeding out, you have to wait a long time. So I had to wait a long ass time to get a scan. And then once I had the scans, and they wanted to give me blood work. And I was like, nah, dude, like, no needles. And I had to argue with his nurse. He's like, well, you'll be in a bed, so if you faint, it's fine. I was like, motherfucker, I don't want to faint. I don't want blood work. I was like, my blood's fine. I got blood work a year and a half ago. I'm not anemic. There's no reason to test me. And he's like, okay. And then the doctor came in and basically told me that. He's like, oh, I looked at your CT scan or whatever, and your head's fine, and it's probably just a vasovagal response and blah, blah, blah. So you're good to go. And I was like, okay. And then that was it. I was there for like 4 hours, though, waiting for everything to get done. Sitting on like a wheelchair outside.
All right. And
that was my day. I was
avoiding that blood work probably saved you like a good $700, $800 fucking dollars.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a bill of like $10,000 though, because I don't have insurance. And then I'm just gonna. Boy, it was funny. The paramedic's like, "Do you have insurance?" I was like, "No." And he kind of leaned in while I was like laying down. He's like, "Okay, here's what you do." He's like, "When I send you the bill, just write them a letter back and say, I don't have any money. And when they send you another bill to that, you say, I still don't have any money to pay this." And he's like, keep replying with letters that you don't have money until they drastically offer to reduce it to almost nothing, or they just waive it. I was like, ah, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. He's like, it works all the time for people. I was like, oh my God bless California.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, and they give me paperwork, and they're like, oh, there's like this charity form or whatever, and because you can basically file, like, since I'm not working right now, you can file for some like Medicaid or whatever, and they'll sign you up for that or some nonsense. But I'd rather just say I can't pay it, and then they go, okay, you can't pay it. The end. I didn't want to go in the ambulance either, because like I was standing there, I was laying there, and I was like to Rosina, and she's like, I was like, should I go to the hospital? And she's like, yeah. I was like, fuck. She's like, what if something's wrong with your brain? I was like, but what if nothing's wrong with my brain? And I ended up being right.
An ambulance, like $900 right there.
Oh, the hospital, the ambulance ride's like, it was like $5,000 in California.
Jesus Christ.
Out the gate, yeah.
Let's see.
And this motherfucker, this right now itches like crazy. It's in the itching phase.
Yeah.
But it's long out of the I look like a zombie phase, because the first 2 days it was just like blood, scabs, and I was like, I looked like I was like had leprosy or something. This guy's skin's falling off. I like stayed in the house for like 4 days. Like, I don't want anyone to see me like this. And then as soon as the scabs came off, and it's just been pink, I've been putting scar cream on it, and scar cream makes it itch. But I live to fight another day. But I'm obviously still devastatingly handsome, so it's not all bad. I just have a even bigger, even thinner hairline, if that's possible. Fucking Jesus. I was like, of all the fucking places, I couldn't have landed on the side of my head where like the hair is thicker. The fuck. Oh, and the icing on the cake of that day was I was wearing my like vintage style Megadeth t-shirt with like my holy black Levi's, and I was like trying to look cool. I was like, it was like 80 that day, and it hadn't been that warm, so like t-shirt, jeans with some holes. And I wore the wrong jeans that day, man, because I had no protection, and my fucking knees are still. They're like, they actually got the worst of it. And that's why I think when I hit the ground, I hit at the same time. The knees probably hit first, and kind of slowed down the head hitting.
Yeah.
So I would hit the knee, boom. So it was like knees, I mean, because they're scraped to shit, man, and they were sore for days. But like of all the days to wear those fucking jeans with with all the holes on them, if I just would have I only wear those jeans like once every 3 months or some shit. I wear the same other fucking jeans that I was like, why didn't I wear my jeans that I always fucking wear every day? That's why that's fashion for you. It'll kill you. And that's my whole story. And an interesting side note is, so I was talking to that guy on Instagram about this vasovagal shit. He suffers from it pretty bad, and like, he was telling me all his stories and like little tricks and stuff. And I was like, you know what's weird? It's like when I'm typing this out, I'm starting to feel fucking weird. And this is now what happens, which has just happened a couple minutes ago. When I think about the exact moment I fainted and how I felt in that moment, I start to feel faint again. And apparently that's normal. Well, this is my new normal. But he was like, oh man, he's like, I totally agree. I've been talking all this stuff, and he's like, I need to take a break from telling you these stories and go eat my dinner because I feel kind of weird. And I was like, oh my God, what is wrong with us? We're pathetic. We're not men. And that's what is so fucking bizarre about it is like, oh, because everyone's like, oh, you're afraid of needles. Oh, you're squeamish of blood. And I'm like, I'm not squeamish of fucking blood. Like, I saw the blood and I didn't re-faint. I just saw the blood and was like, oh, gross. I don't know what it is, but it's something about being, I think, in a doctor's office, getting a procedure. Because like I was honestly, my anxiety and stress was way higher when I was at the dentist, and I was in way more pain for like 2 to 3 hours. I was at that dentist a couple months ago. I didn't fucking faint. So none of it
I was
makes any
pretty
sense.
anxious when I went to get mine. Like, I even told the dude, like, hey, my anxiety is like really bad right now. He's like, well, it'll be over real quick. And I seen him grab it out of the bin. There was like a little
Don't watch it. You
fucking
can't watch.
bin thing. No, he like, because I had turned to the right. I told him to do my left turn. So I seen his hand go in front. And then he's like, yeah, this will be over in a second. And I was like, all right. And when I turned to say all right, he was already like moving away from my arm. I didn't feel it at all. Like, it was crazy. I was like, you done already? And he's like, yeah, these needles are real sharp. I was like, I guess so. Like, I didn't even know you did it. And then by the time I made it over to my chair to sit down for the 15 minutes, I could feel it getting a little warm, whatever. But I didn't have any real issues with mine. It was just like a, I don't know, spot about that big around the injection
Did you
site.
get
That
there? Do you have a twofer or just a one shot?
just the one. I got to go back on the two for. I got to go back the 21st.
Oh, that's when I'm going back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can FaceTime each other while we do it. It would be amazing if it was at the exact same time. We could actually do that. That'd be good content
Well, I'm
for
getting
the
mine at
gram.
like 7 something in the morning, so probably not.
Well, yeah, I'll be asleep. Just record it and we'll pretend we'll do a fake one.
All right.
I don't think I can record mine because I'll be laying down and I don't want. I wish I could have seen myself faint. You know, it's one of those things you wish you could have experienced, like as an outsider, like watching. I really would have liked. I wish it was on video, like it's just me in mid sentence just going. Yep. It probably would look so funny. And Rosina was just like, she said she was just like in shock. She just watched it happen, and she was like, it was like slow motion. I was like thud, and then she was just like, she thought I was dead. She just thought I was fucking dead. That was it.
That's
Like,
wild.
yeah, she was moderately like traumatized. I would have
Yeah, you
been the
don't
same way.
supposed to be like that.
And I was joking. I was joking with her. And I was like, "Oh yeah." After I went down, did you start planning your life without me? We were like, "Okay, he's dead, and now I can finally be who I want to be and live the life I want. And I don't have to go through a messy breakup. He's just dead."
Sell all your shit and.
Oh yeah, oh shit. I don't think she would do that. She would definitely just have somebody come and take it. Ugh. But that's my wild fucking story, and I look forward. And you know what's gonna be real bad is I'm gonna probably faint again because my anxiety is gonna be even fucking higher now that I'm expecting it 100%. Like even last night, I feel that right now, but like last night I was having like a mini anxiety attack for no reason. I was just watching Night of the Comet, and like my chest was like, my heart was racing, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, dude, anxiety sucks. I'm very close to I'm very close to finding some kind of marijuana related fucking supplement to battle my anxiety. Because it's weird and it comes at times that don't make sense. I'm just like sitting on the couch and I felt like I was gonna faint. I felt like my heart was like gonna pound out of my chest. So stupid. Anyways, let's stop talking about it because it's making me feel weird right now.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, and it makes me want to go get fucking Xanax and just be a Xanax popper for the rest of my life. I'm very tempted. I've never had Xanax, but I was told that it was like, Andy told me, he's like, it's really weird because like you take it, you think nothing's happening, and then you realize you don't feel any weight in your chest anymore. And I was like, and in my head I was like, give me all the Xanax. All I feel is weight in my fucking chest all the time.
Yeah.
We have one person on. Giga Shock. What up, Giga Shock? Did you enjoy my long, lengthy story? I'm sorry for that. let's talk some shit about some. I got a lot of toys. Oh, I'll save that. Or would you rather? Okay, here. Let me ask you. Would you rather see a bunch of T-shirts or some action figures? You decide.
Let's see your figures first.
Figures. Okay. So I just got
Can you go
this.
back and forth?
Ah,
Can you go back and forth?
like a T-shirt to toy?
Yeah.
No.
Well, fuck me then.
All right. First up, we have. I got the. This is the Target exclusive Batman Beyond Mcfarland. Getting all the
Oh,
glare. This one, there's two different ones. This one is the one where you can't see the lips, says no mouth definition.
right on.
And the other one has a mouth definition, but this is the Target exclusive, I think. And then the other one, or maybe the other one's a Target exclusive. I'm not sure. But I also have that one coming in the mail as well. And I have not opened this yet, saving it for a big day of toy opening. But it's pretty fucking dope. I always liked the Batman Beyond design. That big red emblem. And I got this. Shipped all the way from Findlay, Ohio. Got the Super Shredder variant with the darker purple.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Which is like, I guess, based on the Chef Boyardee mail-away that they did of the old toys. There was a mail-away variant where Shredder was all black. So this is like that version of it. And I don't know if you can tell, but the box is different from the other box. The other box had like the movie cover on it. This one's all silver and black.
Oh yeah.
I have not opened this one, but I'm definitely going to swap it out for the lighter purple one in the case. Because I think this darker purple is way fucking cooler.
Yeah, it is.
I really like this. These are the ones that there were tons of these in stores. And it was funny because I was checking Brickseek and I was like, I know Josh has been picking up like NECA turtle stuff. And I guess Amy's brother buys them all the time. So he's always getting them. So apparently he gets them for Josh. And I texted Josh, I was like, well, it says right here in Findlay they have 6 of these in stock, so you should go get one. If they have it, give them one for me. And they did. And I got one. Because the Walmart's here, they don't get shit. And the ones that do are really far away, and like I'm never going to be able to go get them.
Yeah, I swung in not too long ago to the one by me, and they didn't have shit, dude. There was nothing on them shelves.
Which one? The BG one?
Yeah.
Yeah, BG's weird.
Oh fuck! I went to the one in Perrysburg or Rossford, whatever. Fuck yeah, Rossford area. They didn't have shit either. That was just as bad as fucking BG's.
Well, Walmart in general sucks for fucking toys, and Target hasn't been much better, especially for pre-orders. I've had like 2 pre-orders now canceled because Target is doing like airline shit where they sell more seats than they fucking have on the plane just in case. And then when the shit starts going out, they just send you cancellation notices and like, oh, we don't have them. Which is like, that's not the fucking point of pre-orders. The pre-order point is that I feel secure and I don't have to fucking buy it. And then by the time they cancel it, the shit's sold out everywhere online. So you're kind of like, you're fucked. It's really annoying. And they need to get their shit together. Walmart, it's just their in-store shit. And their online because of bots. But all right, now I've got the new Marvel Legends wave, which I've only seen. I pre-ordered these on Hasbro Pulse, which is a good thing because I've only seen 1 or 2 of them in store. First up, the most boring one, which is the Tri-Sentinel. But these are all this is the House of X wave.
Oh, right on.
This is the Tri-Sentinel, and then, or is that the Build-A-Figure? The Build-A-Figure is the Tri-Sentinel. This is the Omega Sentinel character. If you haven't read any of the House of X stuff, it's kind of like be kind of clueless about the whole thing. And then the very must-have Moira Mattaggart figure. You've always wanted the figure you've always wanted. I mean, she was very prominent in the relaunch of these new X-Men books, but and also she has a hat.
Sure does.
She has a hat and a science book. And I mean, if I wasn't such a completist, I would not buy that. And then we got Professor X, the House of X design with his Cerebro helmet, his black unitard. That's what he's been wearing in the comics. I mean, one thing about Legends is that the box artwork, fantastic, looks great. Got all the House of X little language, the Krakoan language shit on there. Pretty cool. That's a good one. The Wolverine is actually pretty good too. The brown suit, or the new brown suit. Trying to find without the fucking glare. Pretty fucking sick.
That is cool.
I don't like the spare head with the beard. I think the gray beard thing is weird. I don't understand it. He doesn't have gray hair in the comics, so I don't understand the gray beard. And then you got this fucking thing, which everyone was so horny for, but I can't get on board with the Marvel girl. So when they did this House of X relaunch, for some reason, they updated a lot of costumes and shit, and then Jean Grey is wearing this now all the time, and I hate it so much.
It's very strange.
To go out and battle, like, fucking aliens and shit and whatever in a little green miniskirt. I get that she's so powerful, it doesn't really matter what she looks like, but the face thing is stupid. I get this screams to me like 60s, 70s, and I think it's cool to own a figure of this version of her costume because they never made one. But the fact that it's a modern costume is bothersome. But it does come with a little Krakoan flower.
Neat.
Yeah. So that's a plus. And then you got this bad boy, which I really like, is the all-white Magneto.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty cool. I wish they would do just a little more, some kind of detail on the white. It's just so washed and plasticky looking. Like, you know, Hasbro really skimps a lot on a lot of stuff. I mean, it doesn't have. I get why customizers go over it and try to add some texture, because there's literally no texture to this figure at all. It's just white hands. And I kind of wish it was the version where he's sleeveless. I like in the comics when he's in the all white but doesn't have sleeves. I think that's really cool. But this is still a really cool figure, and it's the second best of the wave because of this guy. Ta-da! The new Cyclops and his updated House of X blue suit. Same mold as the last how many Cyclops figures, and it's got the same head mold as that X Factor thing. And it's got this sweet package art. Very cool. And of course, I have two. Because I'm going to open one for the collection, the Cyclops collection. This was the main reason I got this. They actually had I think yesterday was the Hasbro fan event. They revealed a bunch of stuff. A whole Iron Man wave that I don't give a shit about, which is great. I like when Marvel Legends release it, when they like release stuff that I don't want. I'm like, fuck, good. But they showed one design for the Age of Apocalypse Sabretooth they're going to release, but apparently they're going to do another wave of Age of Apocalypse, and I'm just like, man, give me that fucking Cyclops. Give me the Age of Apocalypse Cyclops with the long hair already. That's the figure I've wanted for so long. So I'm hoping that's coming down the pipe soon. I think most of I think the big announcement was the Thor, the fat Thor from Man Game, but in the full suit and the braided hair. They're releasing that Legends figure. It's pretty cool. And I don't know if you saw that hilarious video of Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes with that fucking Optimus Prime thing that they released.
Mm-mm.
The Hasbro has made a $700 electronic Optimus Prime that transforms from the truck into the robot. Like you press a button, and it seamlessly goes wah, 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 and spins around like the old cartoon and like forms. And then while it's on, it stands there and like Kane Hodder breathes. Like it just breathes. The chest and the arms move. Is that worth $700? Probably to Transformers collectors, but not to me. I would never. $700 fucking dollars. I don't want a motorcycle, but I could buy it like a used motorcycle. I could buy an actual vehicle or a tiny toy vehicle. It's not real.
Right.
But it's voice activated, so it talks, and then you say like convert or something, and then it transforms on command.
You tell it to convert, you don't tell it to transform.
I think that's what Jason Mewes yelled at it, convert. Maybe he was just it worked when he said it. I think it'd be cool if it was like a Amazon Echo or something. It would also like I could play Spotify through it or something. Like it had a speaker. Or like tell me what the weather is gonna be in an Optimus Prime voice. Like, but for $700, man, I'd rather have
a fucking sandwich.
I'd rather have a fucking like a 90-inch TV for whatever or something. I don't know. For a little 10-inch toy, 700 is where I draw the line. And they also revealed box art for the Sentinel.
They did what?
The Hasbro Labs Sentinel, the giant fucking Sentinel that they did pre-orders for last year. They did they did that like fundraiser to basically get all the money backing behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like right in the very beginning of the pandemic.
I remember seeing it.
And it was funny because like at that time they were like anybody on unemployment, they were just like paying them out. Like, so I was making like so much money, more than I was making at my job.
Yeah.
So I pre-ordered it. So that big stupid thing at some point is going to show up at my door, and then I'm going to be very tempted to flip it for like $700 to make money.
Serious.
Because it was like $300, and I was just like, you know, no one tell my girlfriend about this dumbass thing I just spent $300 on. She would cut my dick off. She would be very upset. And I would have to frame it. She's not on right now, is she? No. I'd have to frame it in the sense of like that I was buying it to sell, which I might actually. If the aftermarket goes up that high, I have no problem getting rid of it if I'm making $400 or $500. Take it. It's just plastic. I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah.
That's a car payment and some bills. It's for a month. It's not worth it. But it will also be a very interesting piece to have. But I hope it has a clear front on the package, because I don't really open my Legends. So.
Right.
If it doesn't have a fucking clear window to see it on the inside, I'm gonna have to open the fucker to see it, and then thus ruining its value.
Speaking of that, hang on.
I try to
Get over. Open shit. Either.
spinning, come back.
To open this guy up.
Oh yeah, the albino.
Yeah, he's pretty sweet looking. But I hate the way he was packaged. Like, they folded all fucking stupid in it.
They're all packaged that way. The xenomorphs, they're all packaged like.
Yeah, so like his legs are like sticking straight up behind him on this side.
Right.
Dumb. Hey, Joe's on.
Hey, Joe's on. I just switched over to the house Wi-Fi, but it's not doing me any favors. Nobody ever told me if the signal was good. What about Joe? Joe, who is spinning? Are you watching this? Is either of us frozen or spinning or awful quality? Hi, bud. Wave. About to go back to the phone. It's just outrageous. Come back. I'm willing it. He says, see you both. Well, that's good.
You can be
I'm ready.
You ready?
Look, I'm not drunk enough.
I got drunk last night, so I'm not really drinking tonight.
I drank 1.5 Trulies and I could not make it through fucking Night of the Comet. I was so tired.
I ended up having a couple people swing through, see the house last night. Alan's walked down, and my cousin and his wife came for a little bit. And earlier, before everybody else showed up, my buddy Jeremy and his wife stopped by. It was cool. I drank a lot.
I figured from your group chat message. I was like, that sounds, I read it in like a slurry voice. I was like, is this a slurry voice? About DMX. I was like, is this a slurry DMX message?
Yes.
I was like, you leave Dark Man X alone. I don't care what he did to dogs or wives or anything. On that note,
I don't remember what I sent.
You said something like about his bad behavior, his behavior, or getting excused from his drug use or something.
No, what I meant by that was even with all of that, even with like all his drug problems and stuff, you still didn't hear about him being a shitty person.
Oh, maybe I read that completely wrong, or maybe he was just
like everybody, was like, yeah, he was a fucking nice guy. He was a good dude.
Yeah, I mean, he made a lot of mistakes, but I mean, he got. Until I watched that Talib Kweli thing, and when he was crying, talking about that guy lacing his first blunt with crack at 14, and you knew it was a real story because of the way he broke down, and how it basically ruined his life because he became an addict at that moment. Like he had demons and stuff. He was so like anybody who's already suffering from like some kind of mental illness, and then they're given like an addiction on top of it. Like he just had no chance. It's so sad. And he did it all, man. Crazy to being the #1 artist at Def Jam. The reason why Jay-Z wasn't getting any money from, which is crazy to think about. He was bigger than Jay-Z. Jay-Z had to do covers with DMX and stuff at the time, like just to get extra clout back in the day, which is crazy to think about. DMX, he had a drug problem, so was always back in court, always something going on, always jail, always getting arrested, and it's all drugs. Joe is ready to hear our scripts. I'm gonna take a pee and then I'll come back.
Right, cool. Why didn't he just fucking let you on? That doesn't make any sense. Not every time. Actually, I think he might have just started that on the last one, but all the other ones, they're all in there. And I think because most of the time I would take my phone and leave it outside of the bathroom and fucking talk.
All right. I'm back. Does he edit out the bathroom breaks?
Why didn't you let him on before you went to the bathroom?
Huh?
Why didn't you just add him before you went to the bathroom?
Because I want to see his face. Now, he hasn't sent a request, so I can't add anybody who hasn't sent a request. I don't edit the bathroom breaks. I only edit out horrible things that are said by me. I think I said something earlier. I'm going to edit out. Oh, a script idea. Don't steal my ideas, Internet. Oh, there it is. Bing, bong. Ooh. I should have made a cocktail while I was gone, too. I blew it.
Unacceptable.
Spinning, nothing's happening. It says waiting. God, I don't know what's up on my phone. I have to get a new phone. I feel like it used to be your internet and now it's my phone.
Yeah, we got new internet over here, like a new provider, and it's really fucking good. I like it.
I'm just on my phone Wi-Fi, which should be great because it works for literally every single thing. Yeah, it says waiting. Let me cancel it. I'll try to add you instead. I'll send you a request. Do you get a request, Joe? There
There he is.
There it is. I get to watch two people's heads spin the whole fucking time.
So it's connecting.
Are you in the dark?
No. There it is. Hey.
All right.
If anything has changed, I can't tell.
Wait a minute. You can do three-way Instagram Live now?
You
can
do four now.
Wow. When did that happen?
Like a month or so ago.
That's like a game changer for you guys.
Yeah, it's helped out quite a bit.
If only I could see both of you instead of two spinning circles.
Because I feel like this is the first time the three of us have been on this program together.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Wow.
It is.
That's like history making.
History in the making.
History making.
I say 9 times out of 10, it's usually Justin just talking to you. And
yeah, I know.
Hammer in the comments, so.
I know. It's just you and me trolling each other in the comments. Trolling Justin in the comments.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we did the 4. We tried the 4 last time we were on when I had my friend Seek on. And then Andy from the Draft Pod, I requested him, like, well, because he was in the chats all night. I was like, let's just see what the 4 looks like. It was pretty cool.
Well, sorry I was a little late. I was watching wrestling, which is why I'm wearing a wrestling T-shirt.
I wouldn't know. I can't tell.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You can't see. The other funny thing is, this is the first ever time in the 37-year history of WrestleMania that they had a rain delay.
The hell?
Yeah, they were in an outdoor arena and
That's
it started
hilarious.
raining, and they had to literally have all the wrestlers improv for like 40 minutes just doing like
Improv.
like interviews because they couldn't do anything in the ring. So
That's so
anyway,
weird.
it's still going on in the background. I had to dip, but you guys, I made a promise, so I'm here. I'm here to judge.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, it's fine. Like Courtney and I can always find shit to talk about. So we were just, I don't even know what we were talking about before you got on. Probably just toys. I just
think
showed off a
just-
bunch of action figures.
I think you were just in the bathroom the whole time. Is kind of what I got out of it. So
Definitely not the whole time. Just
some of the
45
time.
It was just yelling from
All
the
right,
toilet.
so why am I here, boys?
why are you here? I mean, like philosophically, or why are you on the?
Why am I on Nerdicide?
Why are any of us here, Joe? You are
AEW
here.
for life, gory bits. AEW for life.
You are here. I don't know. I guess Courtney is gonna probably have to flip a coin and see who goes first. But we are going to give you some very half-baked, a very half-baked pitch of a horror movie to TV series, or a horror movie we'd like to see be made into a television series, or why we think that would work, and give you kind of our little spiel, and then you can decide which one is best, or you could say both of them are bad, and which is more realistic. It's up to you.
All right, I'll try to be nice.
You don't
I mean,
have to.
Yeah,
You really don't.
All right.
do
I mean,
what
all
you
right.
feel.
If you guys want to open up that can of worms.
I mean, I think it would be more fun, like as we're giving the spiel, for you to do what you might do in real life, which is ask like a follow-up question that might be like that you genuinely would ask, because like I might not have an answer, and that's more funny.
I'll tell you. Can I tell you a quick story? This didn't happen to me. This anecdote didn't happen to me, but I heard it, and it's always terrified me of pitches. So I'll tell you it now, so that you can think about it while you're pitching. So this guy, he gets a meeting with Ridley Scott. He's going to get to pitch his movie to Ridley Scott, right? And so he's sitting across from Ridley Scott, and Ridley Scott's got a cigar. He's always smoking cigars. And he's sitting there across the table smoking his cigar, and this guy's pitching his heart out. He gets like maybe 1-2 minutes into his pitch, and Ridley just goes, bullshit.
Oh my god.
And the guy's like, did Ridley Scott just say my idea was bullshit? Do I keep going? What do I do? What do I do? So he keeps going, and then Ridley says bullshit again, and then stops him and like breaks down why his idea was terrible. And the anecdote basically ends with him saying like, and he was right, it was bullshit, and I was wrong. So anyway, I'll try not to do that to you guys, but you have.
I mean, if you want, they're probably going to be a fair amount of bullshit.
You've opened the door for me to say bullshit now.
Dude, just light a cigar and call it bullshit.
My wife would not be happy if I was smoking a cigar in the apartment. But if I could be smoking a cigar right now and create that intimidation factor, I would. So.
Well, now we have to. So we have to figure out who's going to go first, and then somebody needs to flip a coin. I don't have a coin.
What are you going to do? Rock, paper, scissors? Flip a coin?
Coin.
All right. Flip the coin then. Let's go in. Let's get this going. You're like Justin stalling.
I can't tell if Courtney's moving because he's frozen.
Oh, yeah, he's moving.
All right, I had a coin right here. Yeah, hang on one second.
It could be faster if I just said one of you go, but.
I might have a coin.
Oh my God! Really, guys? You don't have a coin? You got all these people watching. You got all these people who just joined who are watching to hear your pitch, to hear you pitch to me, and you don't have a coin.
I got it. Heads or tails.
All right, there it is. All right. So who's heads?
I'm always tails.
All right, there you go. Flip that coin.
Oh, it's a state coin. Georgia.
Is it a two-faced coin? Is it both heads?
It's a heads and the state of Georgia. So I guess it's heads
Oh,
of Georgia.
perfect. Our favorite state right now.
And that's his side, so that's all you.
All right,
We know Justin's a big fan of Georgia politics. So
are you ready? In my hand, I just flipped it.
all right. What is it? Tell me. Hit me
It's
with
heads.
Heads. All right, Courtney, you're up first.
All right, man.
All right.
So I am pitching a series based on The Thing.
Ooh, I love The Thing.
So my basic idea for it is that it would pick up pretty much like a couple weeks after the film ends.
So this is a period piece then.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So what would happen is there would obviously have to be a cleanup crew and basically some other scientists going in to collect the data that they were working on, like need to get that back. And in the process, obviously, they come across some shit that they don't understand, and just kind of surveying the areas. I thought maybe even having them find either McCready's body or Child's body somewhere on the outskirts. Like they had made it to a certain point.
A Kurt Russell popsicle? A Kurtsicle?
Yes. But still try to like maintain like that the element of you're not sure which one it is at the end.
Okay.
But, so I don't know how that would actually transpire. But what I would like to do is basically have it to where they set up a new base camp, because obviously they have to sit and work with this data that they collected and try to get it all back on track. And through that, obviously, shit goes awry. I'd like to hear the same music in it. Obviously, it's the same time frame.
Who is, when you say they, who is they? Like scientists?
Well, hang on. I'm the judge, Justin. You shut the hell up. I'm judging right now.
Bullshit.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Bullshit.
So.
All right. Hang on, Courtney. I am gonna ask a real question though. Here's my question. This is my question. Okay. So far, what you pitched me feels like it could be a movie and not a TV series. And the idea is to pitch me a TV series. So where do you see, like, what is the engine of the show? Like, is it going to be week to week where we're in this new base camp, or is it like this is just the jumping point for the series?
No, I was thinking like week to week. You're getting to know the characters. They're building the base. They're searching the wreckage and the old shit. They eventually end up underground.
Okay.
All that shit. So, I mean, they're finding the technology. They're finding, remnants of all of this shit. Plus, people are getting fucked up by it in the meantime. So, they're getting replaced. I did have an idea of, like, making all the characters likable. Because then it's worse when they're gone. Like, when they change or when they die.
Did you find the characters in the original to be unlikable?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, some of them are.
That's why I want to keep like that element to it, where like shit, I can't think of the name now.
Let me ask an interesting question. Are there women this time?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Good.
I'm out.
That was it for Justin. That was his one thing. He didn't want women in it.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Women scientists? I don't think so. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
bad.
So what we've got is a a mixed gender cleanup crew that has set up shop. They've set up shop, and week to week they are investigating what?
When they get there, they're initially trying to figure out what happened, but then they also have to be collecting the data that the original crew was collecting and building that back up. So they actually have like 2 different jobs. So you could have 2 different crews there.
Is that Joe?
I apologize for the
everything
sirens
okay?
that are going by my house right now. Sounds like
Are
the
they
world's
going by
fucking
your
up.
house or through your house?
Crystal left the goddamn window open, and I didn't shut it. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you a funny story. I'm going to tell you another pitching anecdote. This one did happen to me, sort of. I was in the room for it. So every year, I don't know if you've been. Do you guys have Hulu? Do you have Hulu?
Yes.
So they do this thing called Huluween every October, and so but Huluween in the office at Hulu, they like do a whole thing. They have like they decorate, they get dressed up. So someone thought it would be a really good idea to pitch a TV show to Hulu on October 31st. Don't ever pitch a TV show to a network on October 31st. This is a rule of thumb. So we're in this conference room, right? And they have this glass window. And the execs are sitting facing the glass window. And the writer is not facing this glass window. He's looking at the execs. And he's pitching his heart out. He's pitching so hard. And the Huluween parade starts happening while he's pitching. And literally all of these Hulu executives' coworkers start walking by, all dressed up for Halloween, walking down the hallway, playing music, banging drums, screaming, and this poor guy's having to try to pitch his TV show while they're walking down the hallway. It was probably the worst pitch I've ever been a part of in my entire life. So, sorry about the fire alarms going by.
That's horrible. Wait, so I'm not allowed to ask questions about Courtney's ideas?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
My question is there how many seasons would you see the show going for? Based on like that kind of scenario where it's just picking everyone off in a secluded area. Is it a limited series of like 10 episodes, or is it going to go on?
I was trying to think of that. It probably would work better as a limited series. Otherwise, it would probably be canceled after like the 2nd season.
I think the only way you take it to a second season is you change the location.
Well, that's the thing. Like I was really trying to like put it somewhere else, like do the series somewhere else, and it just doesn't work. It has to be that isolated situation.
But let me ask you a question, Courtney, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
All right.
Isn't there something to the idea of the alien getting somewhere else and watching it like expand and spread?
There is, and I thought about that, but that it just goes too fast. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I think there is a Thing sequel comic book, maybe, or something, or maybe I'm misremembering. But I do remember there being like Kurt Russell and or Childs gets on, I'm assuming it's Kurt Russell, gets on like a boat. And I think the Thing gets loose on the boat as it's heading back towards the mainland. I remember that being like the official kind of canonical where the story goes. Yeah, I mean, I guess my 2 cents is just like, you know what? I mean, like I love the original. I think it's a masterpiece. And if someone wanted to just do a remix of it, like I'm there for it. But that's kind of also what the prequel did, right?
right.
So like, what is your take gonna bring that the prequel didn't?
Nothing.
This is why Justin brought me in.
Yep.
That's the honesty that I love. That's the perfect thing that you. But well, I mean, think about how many projects that are reboots or reimaginings that don't bring anything really new, and they are just money makers off of the name.
I totally agree with that. I'm not saying, again, I'm there for it. Like, I love the original. My question was, though, but like we kind of already did that with the prequel, and it didn't really work.
Well, the problem with that one was also the problem that they did was they had those dumb CG fucking creatures, and
I know, but
work.
that was not the only. What are
Right
you
there.
showing us, Courtney? I can't even.
Practical effects.
Yes. All right. Look. I'm there. I'm with you on that. The
That's
CG
what I'm
bullshit did suck. So I agree.
Did you think of anybody like? Because I remember when I was not to start talking about mine, but I didn't really get into casting.
I didn't either. I didn't cast anybody in mind.
Okay,
because
do you have like at least like a protagonist character in mind, or do you see this as another like ensemble type piece?
I feel like it would be better as an ensemble, but obviously there would be like a more important character.
Right.
And I didn't know if I would want it to be more military or more sciencey. It would just make more sense that it would be sciencey. But what do I know? I don't know anything about military or science.
Do you feel like there is in the ensemble, is there like a Kurt Russell who emerges as the protagonist in your mind?
I would like to see that, yes. I think there would be room for that.
Okay. I agree. All right. So I mean, I guess so we've got a military, we've got a team that's sent in. They're setting up a new shop, ensemble cast, limited series.
How many episodes?
What in your mind? You said like they encounter something they don't understand. What is that? Is it the creature again? Is it some kind of new evolution to the creature? Is there something about the ship that happens?
I think it would be the technology stuff, like the ship stuff, like actually getting their hands on it and trying to figure it out would be a cool side to it. Even actually kind of figuring some of it out, like pulling the ship up to the surface, and going through that.
And that's cool. That would be really neat.
And then having somebody on the base that has told somebody else outside of the base, like, hey, they got this shit. So now you have another outside fucking source coming in, so you have to worry about one being replaced by a fucking monster, and then you have people that are trying to steal this shit out from underneath of you.
That would be pretty badass. That would be cool. So, like, I mean, I guess here's something that's kind of could be kind of interesting too. If you're gonna do something with the ship, I mean, the ship obviously landed in the Antarctic. I don't think they meant to get stuck in a giant pile of ice. So, like, do you see at the end of the limited series, like, does the ship go to the mainland? Like, does it get out in your mind, or is it, or like how do you see it wrapping up, I guess?
Yeah, I really didn't think about it that far. I do like that. I like that idea of ending it almost like the original movie ending, where it's just kind of a toss-up. Like, they sent the ship. Was there anything on it that's gonna, fuck anybody up? Like, are they sending it to the rest of the world, or did it die there? So yeah.
Yes. Am I allowed to end his show?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Lady scientist on the ship. The ship gets in an emergency situation. Yeah, launches, goes back up into space. It's obviously not fully operational. Is going to crash on another alien planet with the thing creature still on board. it then becomes a situation for a new species of aliens who are sentient and smart, but not human. And then this lady scientist teams up with these other scientists to fight the thing on a completely different planet. And I just ballooned your budget to $150 million. So
yeah. All of that contained stuff that Courtney was pitching. Justin just threw that all out the window. But
yeah,
you know what? Like it's a good hook for season 2. But you know what? Like I do like the idea though of the scientist like not understanding the power that she's studying. I like how we just made her a female protagonist. But cool. All right, that's where we're going with. Like she does understand the power that she's studying. She launches the ship. It's heading back into space. And now she's like on her way to the thing homeworld or another planet, or like that's a cool way to go out for like a hooky end of the season, I think.
Oh yeah.
Sweet. All right. Okay. That's a purchase, Courtney. I'll buy your thing sequel.
Yeah.
All right, Justin. What do you got for me?
I'm gonna actually go make a cocktail. So keep talking.
Jesus Christ!
I'm gonna leave you and wait. Just stare
Jesus
at my
Christ!
actions
All right, I'll tell another pitching horror story. You want to hear another pitching horror story, Courtney?
Absolutely.
All right. So, I was the executive on this movie that got made a couple years ago called Security with Antonio Banderas and Ben Kingsley. And when we were initially interviewing directors for that movie, there was this guy who came in, really sweet guy, like young, and he was like a music video guy. This would have been his first movie ever, right? And
Jesus.
he's pitching his heart out, and Courtney, he freezes up. He completely forgets what he was saying for like a solid 2 minutes. And he puts his fingers to his lips and he's trying to remember, and it was like the most heartbreaking and embarrassing pitch I've ever sat in on, because I was just
have any notes or anything?
No, he didn't have any notes with him. And I'm like, and literally this is why when I pitch, I will not go in without an entire pitch script written out and in front of me, because I never want to be in the position where like you just completely blank stare.
Dude, I couldn't fucking. I would have just got up and walked out.
I mean, suffice it to say, he did not direct the movie, as you can imagine. But yeah, it was tough, man. It was really tough, and like I wanted, when someone like doesn't finish their sentence, and you kind of think you know where they're going, and you might like finish the sentence for them, you know.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that for him, but I wasn't really sure what he was gonna say either. So like, it was just like this long. I mean, it was probably the longest 2 minutes I've ever had in any meeting.
Fuck, dude, it was probably the longest 2 minutes of his fucking life.
Oh my god, yes. I mean, it's almost as long as it's taking Justin to make a cocktail. Like, so
I can see him
yeah.
like muddling fucking. He's really working on a cocktail.
It really is.
Just pouring whiskey into a fucking cup.
I mean, it's like between him peeing and his cocktails, like it's amazing that like, like that's where like the bulk of the 2 hours goes. There he is. He's back.
Sorry it took so long. I had to pet my dog.
Ah, that is important.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
All right, Justin, you're up.
All right. What we're gonna do with me is a reimagining of Night of the Comet. My movie to series is Night of the Comet, which is a very 80s movie. I'm assuming both of you have seen this movie, yes?
Yep.
I don't want to spoil it for you. Anybody who hasn't seen it, the gist.
Well, let me ask you a question though. Like, Courtney picked probably one of the most beloved horror movies of all time.
Yeah.
Night of the Comet's more of a cult movie. Why Night of the Comet?
Night of the Comet has so much in the little intricate details of that movie that you could spread out the feelings alone, and some of the little anecdotal things that they do in that movie are so brilliant. They could be spread out into many episodes in characters and time. You think of such of a generic idea of like a Walking Dead, which they literally beat to fucking death. I would say that my Night of the Comet is like Walking Dead for optimists, and also like for people who don't hate themselves. There's a joy in Night of the Comet, even though it is a very dark subject. Almost all of the population is wiped out by a very scientific comet that just turns people to dust. But there's what they do in that movie, the little things, you can really spread out, and really the sister dynamic. Okay, let me just start from the beginning. So you've seen the movie, so you know how it ends, right? The older sister and the kids they were kidnapped, and the Hector guy are basically like, they become like a husband and wife with these adopted kids, right? And the younger sister's across the street at a crosswalk, and they're waiting for the light to turn, despite the entire population is gone out of Los Angeles. And she's like, "What are you doing?" To the younger sister, like, "What are you doing? This is crazy. Everyone's fucking gone." This is where my show starts. And also, an important side note, my show is not 80s, it's 90s. Because the 90s is played the fuck out. Or no, the 80s is played the fuck out, excuse me. I don't want to watch 80s stuff. I don't want to hear 80s songs. Give me 90s. Make the young sister in grunge outfits and stuff. I want 90s music. I don't want 80s. It's hacky.
Okay, all right. I'm with you on that. I mean, look, I love 80s, but I'm with you on that. I hear you there. But how do you rectify the fact that the first one ends, which takes place in the 80s, then suddenly becomes 90s?
Well, this is basically a reboot. This is not a sequel or anything. This is taking the idea of Night of the Comet, replacing it in the 90s with similar characters, and then stretching it out into, I would say, many seasons. 5.
Okay.
5-10 episode seasons. You could really stretch it out. If you really wanted to milk it and beat it to death, you could. Because these kinds of apocalyptic storylines are easy to stretch out, I feel like. But back to the thing is, like, there's a really key moment to really grasp the idea of the show that I would want to see, and that is that scene where the younger sister is yelling. And what I would do different in, obviously, the direction of what they do, because that's the end of the movie. Since this is the beginning of the show, you're opening with that scene. Nobody knows what's going on. She's yelling, "This is crazy. There's nobody around." You would obviously interject some shots of like the city of LA, just empty, no one around. So you get that in that little her yelling fit. And then when she decides to walk against the red or whatever before the light turns, that's this amazing scene in the original where this guy in this old Mercedes convertible just flies by and almost hits her. Because they're like yelling at her like, "Oh, that's the brilliance of that movie. Like they're yelling at her that we have to be the people who like reestablish society or whatever. And we're gonna follow the rules." So she runs across the street. She almost gets by a car of like another survivor. And that guy and the girl have a scene, and they have a little moment. And the takeaway is, she's like, "Oh, blah blah blah, nice car," and he's like, "Oh, I have 23 of them." I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah. Hey, Crystal, shush.
I can't see anything. I can only hear. So I'm just like, all I hear is noise.
Oh, yeah. No, she decided to walk out and interrupt your live recording. Bye, Crystal.
So
All right,
yeah,
you're good.
So like that moment when she says,
Yeah, exactly, Chris Under Oath. Damn it, Crystal. Yeah.
yeah, she says, "That's a nice car," and he says, "Thanks, I have 23 of them." That's your start of the show. I want that interjected humor right out the gate of that fucking show, where you're like, okay, well, whatever's going on. You obviously in today's age, you've already seen a trailer for this show that's already been produced. You have not greenlit yet, but in this world of you watching the first episode, you're gonna know that what the premise is out the gate. But I want that humor and that right away. I don't want it to be, oh, it's dead, everyone's dead, wham wham. I don't want that. I want like, okay, there is some joy here, and obviously that you will still have like these people who are partially affected by the comet, zombie type characters, which I would definitely get away from the zombie thing at all. They actually don't show really in that movie anyone being eaten, which is good. I like the idea that their brains are kind of rotting and they become crazier. But I would want in the show that effect would take a lot longer. Whereas in the movie, it seems like it's like 36 hours, and then they just go full crazy, and their eyes start going crazy, and they just want to murder and hack everyone up. And the show, that would be a longer process. So you're basically, that show is still revolving around the two sister characters, older and younger. Ideally, a college freshman and a high school junior. Both girls from the Valley. I would keep the same male character as Hector. Super ahead of its time and brilliant in the original movie that they made the new boyfriend character a Mexican, because you are in LA. If there's going to be survivors, some of them are going to be Mexican, and I like that he's funny. He has no stereo. They don't do any Mexican stereotypes with him or anything. That core group I want to stay. I like the science, the think tank group. We update that a little bit, make them more Bill Gatesy, 90s tech nerd kind of vibes. But they obviously fucked up the same way. We keep some of that stuff, but we just stretch it out. So the overall arc is these two sisters, and you can add in like, okay, they want to get here. They're trying to get guns. We really want to up the danger levels of the people, because in the movie there are a fair amount of people who are exposed, but they do shopping sprees and stuff like that. And I really want it to be like, okay, there is a lot more danger with the people who are partially exposed. They're almost like they have brain damage in a sense, like their brains are frying out. So they want to get guns. They want to stay safe. I love just the overall dynamic of the two sisters, of the younger girl being immediately annoyed that the older sister has an instant romantic attraction for the first man they've seen since it started. That's really important stuff that I want to do. And like I said, and that opening scene, which is the end of Comet, that would not happen until the end of the first season. So then you basically would go, okay, here's this first scene, and then it would go 1 week before this. Then you would start the story. So the series would be like a 1 week advance.
But you would open with like the end, and then you would cut back in time and catch us up to that.
Yeah, you catch us up to that original moment, and I would actually go beyond it.
So season one in your mind is like a straight remake of the original.
To an extent, but stretched out a lot of the funner moments. Right.
But
and really less focusing on the science group, maybe towards the last couple episodes. And honestly, if I was really working on it, I might even skip them all out till the second season and just make the first season a straight survival movie and running around LA. I think of something like Last Man on Earth, what they did in that first or two episodes where he was completely alone, like alone before he ran into survivors.
Right.
Absolutely brilliant. I would want to do that for a full episode where it's just the two sisters, because they meet people right away in the movie, and it just kind of takes away. I really want it to kind of be like a sinking feeling that survivors are very rare. Because I think the science of it in that movie, which I don't know if we would keep our hold on to that, is that if you were in a steel building, you survived. You could keep that to an extent, but I don't really know if that's because she slept in like a movie theater projection room. I don't know if that's really a thing in the '90s where you'd be safe in an all steel.
Let me ask a question.
Sure.
The original, you want to take a lot of elements from the original and stretch them out into the series, which I get. I totally understand. Yeah. But why is that the best way in 2021 to that story? Why now?
Why now? Because because people are dumb, and people, if you feed them even the slightest hint of some kind of apocalypse story or zombies or whatever the fuck, people they're gonna tune in, and you give them a moderate budget and an apocalypse story, they're gonna watch it, especially if it's a series on a fucking big streaming app like Netflix or Hulu. They're gonna watch it.
I'm not worried about whether or not they're gonna watch it. What I'm worried about is thematically, why now? Why 2021?
Oh,
I feel like this is well, aside from it being a good idea, I mean, we did just go through an apocalyptic event. Is that the draw?
I mean, honestly, the draw for all of these kinds of movies for the last 5 years is there is a general vibe in the air of people being like very worried and hesitant about what's going on. Same with like you know, the stuff that was popping off in the 70s. In the early 70s, look at those films. I feel like it's the same thing right now. If you do an apocalypse movie, like, people are kind of looking for it. They're looking out their window going, I could see that. I think this kind of stuff will always be popular, but I could see definitely right now, obviously because of COVID and stuff, being like an added juicy look in the mirror. Well, I can't talk because I've had too many cocktails now. But you know what I'm saying.
I do. I mean, to me, it's like, to me, this is why now, right? Like, if you're gonna talk, like, the thing that was the most interesting thing about the last year with the pandemic is that we as a writer myself, as a producer, as a director, you're always given notes from executives about, oh, the character wouldn't do that because no rational thinking sane person would act that way or do that thing. They wouldn't run up the stairs away from the killer. They would run out the door. But I think what we learned over the last year with people rebelling against masks and gathering together when there's an airborne virus and not getting their vaccine shots, we've learned that humans will run up the stairs and not out the door, right? And so, like, I do think that if you're going to do an apocalyptic event horror show as a series, you're going to take a classic movie like Night of the Comet, which probably wasn't fully explored in the movie and could further be explored in as a series. I think the why now, to me, is exploring how humanity actually deals with an apocalyptic event and the mistakes that they make along the way. That's just my 2 cents.
And I totally agree. And further ideas that I interjected into the original is like, because if you're going by the because like I think Hector was a truck driver, he slept in his truck, so like the steel somehow protected him, which makes no sense. But if you're gonna go by that logic that for some reason steel walls or whatever like protect you, I would interject that a lot of people in maximum security prisons survived. People who were in solitary confinement survived, or at least had very minimal exposure. So you could up the danger level to, and I don't want to go down the, I hate the fucking road of humanity's the real monster. I'm not going down that road where the people have retread 1,000 times. We all get it. People are trash. But like, I'm not going down the Walking Dead road where like, yeah, you know, is the real villain Negan. Well, blow your mind.
I got another fire truck coming by.
That's not what I'm doing.
Sorry.
I want it to be actual monsters.
Did a comet
I
hit?
want monsters.
Yeah.
To
The night of the comet's happening outside.
Yeah.
I live across the street from a fire station, guys. I'm sorry.
So that's the thing is like one of my ideas, added ideas, is that like a lot of people in prison, solitary areas would survive. The city would be a dangerous place, but also because of the silliness factor of everybody literally like just poofing at once, to a sense, there's not a lot of time to grieve. Like I feel like and because they are younger characters, and the way they set it up is brilliant. I mean, let's be honest, the movie is fucking brilliant. They are the daughters of, they're military daughters, so they traveled around a lot. Their father taught them to shoot guns, taught them how to handle themselves, hand-to-hand combat. They're already set up in this way. There would be little throwback things, obviously, in the show that I would keep. There would be homage stuff. For example, the cheerleader outfit with the Uzi is a must-have. Things I would change, I would not show the girl who is supposedly a high school junior in a see-through bra and panties, or in a see-through nightie dancing. Those scenes I would definitely lose because
those don't feel very 2021.
No.
No.
And honestly, I if Kristen Stewart wasn't and not that she's super old, but she's a little too old. If she wasn't as old, I would love to see her as the older sister, and then a younger sister that's a little more bouncy and fun.
I just want to pause and reflect on the fact that we just called Kristen Stewart old, and that makes me feel really sad. But continue.
Well, I mean, she's too old to be a freshman in college. I feel
that is true. She is too old to be a freshman in college, but I I just want to qualify that because I don't.
That's how it is.
Happy birthday.
We're getting old.
I mean, DMX was only 50, and that is not much older than me. So
yeah, that scares the shit out of me actually. Him dying at 50. Yeah.
Stay away from drugs. You should be. You're a white man, so you should at least make it to like 64.
Probably 60.
I'm trying to remember like all of my little juicy Night of the Comet nuggets. You know what's important insider note about this is that I actually tried to kind of flesh this out as a real project that I worked on for no reason other than for fun about 5 or 6 years ago.
Now, Courtney, we understand the genesis of this conversation. He had time to prepare, and you did not. So.
I did not.
But I also don't. It's in a notebook. I have a notebook somewhere, and I don't know where the fuck it is. So there was probably a lot better ideas in there, and I have no idea where they are. But I really thought, and I remember at the time being very like specific on who should be in the movie. You ever do like those kinds of projects where you're just like working on something that is just kind of like for you. I was kind of doing that with this, and I was doing it kind of just like as a writing exercise to see where it'll go. And I got pretty far with it, and I really thought like this would be a good show because I hate fucking Walking Dead so much with a passion. They don't even have words or pictures on their shirts. That is the most un-American fucking shit. I hate that show. Where everyone's just wearing tan shirts. Where is everybody getting all these dingy tan shirts? It is ridiculous.
That alone is justification for a Night of the Comet TV show.
It is, because Night of the Comet is the anti of that, where there's color and there's vibrance in this apocalypse, where there is a girl in bright colors. They do like go have some fun,
but they're not wearing see-through tops.
No high school nudity.
No.
That is not a good look. Well, we did have Z Nation. That was the more fun version. I didn't watch that. I don't want to watch. Honestly, Walking Dead burnt me on zombie shit for a long time, like a real fucking long time.
And honestly, that's why I went with the Thing, because I was trying to like Rolodex through shit that fucking is murdered to death, and not do like a fucking other zombie thing, not do another fucking witch thing, not do another fucking Dracula fucking story. It's fucking, that's why I went with the Thing. But
well, I think look, I like a lot of Courtney's ideas for his Thing take. I like the idea of a Night of a Comet show. I think there's a lot of room to expand from that. I think it feels very timely. So, I think both ideas have a lot of potential. So, kudos on you guys picking cool movies that could be spun off into TV series.
Sounds like a cop-out judgment to me.
well, at least he didn't say bullshit.
I didn't say bullshit. Do you want me to pass? I could be harder on it.
I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that would be like, if Ridley Scott, you're in Ridley Scott's like bullshit, and I was like, it's bullshit. And then just name one of his bad movies.
Yeah, but then he would name all of his good movies and Oscar winners, and
I'd be like, what was that scientist doing in Prometheus, where he just like stared at a snake? That's bullshit. My God.
Well, let me ask you this, Joe. To do the flip side of it, and why would you pass on either of our shows?
Well, if this was a real pitch, if I was really as an executive hearing the pitch, TV shows genuinely what you want to go in with is character first. So neither of you guys really pitched me who the characters were, or who the characters we're following are. So he's working, but he's because he knows I'm right. So
I just assumed that you were already aware of
I was
movie,
trying to.
so why would I?
If I was an executive and I was looking for a reason to say no, my big thing would be I don't know who the characters are. I don't know what they want. I don't know what they're trying to do. Those are the things that you kind of want to anchor your pitch with, because that's when you're asking an audience to come in week to week, right? That's the thing they latch onto the most. Is they're not coming back for the individual stories per se. They're coming back to see what happens to characters that they love, right? So, as much as Justin hates The Walking Dead, and by the way, I don't watch The Walking Dead, but as much as Justin hates it, like the reason people come back, despite the stories being kind of maybe blah or repetitive or what have you, is because they've invested in those characters, and that's why they've been able to get that show to last for eons now, right? So someone asked on Postmortem, it'll be in the next AMA, what we thought of X-Files and why we thought X-Files was a success. And the answer we basically had was you love Mulder and Scully. You know, it didn't really matter what they were doing week to week. You loved watching them, and you loved watching their interactions, and you loved watching their different philosophies on what they were investigating clash with each other, right? So if you know, the thing would be like, who are the characters that you're dropping into the world of the Thing and Night of the Comet? I think conceptually you guys have good handles on what you want it to feel like and look like and be like, but who is that character that we're following week to week within that world, and why do we love them and why do we care about them? Oh, go fuck off.
I mean, I have that. I have it.
All right. Well, you
I
didn't
just feel like
it,
I feel like maybe it's just me because I maybe I just love Night of the Comet more than most people. So I guess like when I'm explaining it, I just expect people to understand perfectly how great the older sister younger sister dynamic is.
Right.
Where, and like you're telling it to a person who maybe if you're me probably explaining it to maybe somebody who doesn't love it as much as or has never really experienced it, then everything you're saying is for sure true. But like, I guess I would have to pitch it to a room of people who already loved the movie, or I'd have to reframe what I was saying because like
the tough thing though about going into
that show is the older sister younger sister dynamic. Those are the characters. They're very likable. The older sister is more obviously has her shit together, but is also still like a fuck up. The younger girl is the comedic relief and also the show's the way the audience looks at the show, and I feel like she's the reactionary character where she sees things and she reacts the way the audience would go, holy shit, or that's weird, or I don't like that. Whereas the sister is very more of a logical character, and she's kind of your voice of the audience going, holy God, I just want to do this. She's more like instantly reactionary the way you would be watching a show. She's your voice in that sense. And there's these little scenes in the original where they portray that so well. When the younger sister is mad about the fact that the older sister has like developed a thing with the only guy left, and she pushes her and she's mad, and then they have like a laughing moment. Those little moments in that movie you could carry a show on, because I just feel like there's a lot of that to be, especially with siblings, sibling rivalry, sister to sister rivalry, and just in general teen angst is a whole other thing. Hormones. She's a teenager. She sees the world in a completely different view than a girl in college does.
Yeah.
Her needs and wants are different, but they're literally on the same path, just wanting to do things a different way. So there'd always be interesting conflict, but just them alone. You wouldn't even have to add in the boyfriend character and the other people. Just her being a teenager, automatically, you just assume that she's going to make mistakes, go do things that either trigger conflict with other like dangerous situations or with themselves. I literally love that movie so fucking much. Love it. I love that fucking movie, and I think it would be a great show, and I think it would be a great movie remake, but I would really rather watch it as a show spread out a little longer. Because in a thing like that where you're trying to rush in a lot in an apocalypse, like I feel like there's a lot you could get through. Just spread it out a little more.
I do like the idea of a coming of age story for two young people.
Yeah.
That trying to come up in a world that really doesn't exist anymore. Like pure madness and all normalcy's fucking gone.
Yeah,
and
I also like
how do you develop
I like
that?
the idea that it's time stamped, where it's just like, this is the last album that came out, this is the last movie that came out. You have little things that you can do with that, and the music doesn't change unless they run into some survivor who was like in a studio that was steel walled. Was still recording new music, but you're kind of left with the fashion doesn't really change. All of this art in general is just, it's a permanent, this is it forever.
Yeah.
Until everyone's
Right.
dead. Until there is a rebuilding of society, in a sense, with the survivors.
Oh shit! Fucking Rick said fucking Phantasm would be a good TV series. That was actually one of the original ones I had thought of.
Phantasm also a good TV
Fifty
series.
with-
because there's,
Phantasm has a
also
lot of mythology that you can spin off, which I think is exciting about Phantasm. There's a lot of
Also, it's got a supernatural vibe where there's just like two guys in a car running from town to town.
Hell yeah!
right.
Like you could do a week to week on that.
Yeah.
But also, Supernatural is a dumb show about two white guys who somehow always have different brown jackets. Where are they getting all these brown jackets?
And yet it lasted forever because people liked the characters. So.
They sure
Yeah,
did.
but where were they getting all the brown jackets? They never
The
said
brown
anything
jacket
about
store.
like, hey, while we're driving, you want to stop by this store and get some more different jackets?
I'll tell you.
What temperature is it in this fucking show? It's always what, 64? They're always in jackets, no matter what season it is.
I'll tell you. You brought up something really interesting where you said like, I would like to pitch this to a room of people who also love and understand the movie. The problem is, this is why I think we get a lot of reboots that don't work. Is usually the people who are in charge of finding the creatives and the creative take for those reboots, they are not as familiar with material as you are. They do not love the material the way you do.
Yeah, I totally get it.
And they are trying to, and that's why sometimes you like you'll watch a reboot and you'll be like, what the fuck? Like, how did they fuck this up? Like, why did they go off in like such a weird direction? It's because like they didn't get what made it special in the first place. You know,
Yeah.
they just don't know it. To them, it's just a recognizable piece of IP and a library that they can mine and potentially like have a pre-existing fan base come to it. So when you go in and pitch on these things, you kind of almost have to assume that the person on the other end doesn't know the movie or doesn't know the series. And you have to sell them not only on like what your take is, but why you love it and why they should love it too. Right?
Sorry.
What's that?
Sorry, I was reading the comments.
Oh, yeah. It's
So
anyway, so that is really the hard part of selling this material sometimes is the people who you're pitching to just don't get it,
of course.
So
but I was pitching it to you.
That's true. I understand, but
At
Courtney
least it gets-
asked why I would pass, and
Yeah.
so that that's the answer. So that
I gotta answer a question real quick. Drew asked, "Where do you get your blue jacket?" A little hole in the wall store called Levi's. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They make a lot of jeans.
Basically, what Justin's trying to say is he would never be on the show Supernatural because he's wearing a blue jeans jacket.
Yeah,
Correct.
I could never be on Walking Dead because I own a lot of graphic tees. And Walking Dead is like, they're just like, what, they burnt up all of the graphic tees and shirts. I get why you can't show like logos and stuff and licensed things and all that shit. But you can't even like have like a shirt with like just like a fucking wolf on it or something. Like just like a drawing of a fucking animal. It's so that's how you know
that's what bothers you is they don't have graphic tees.
They don't live in reality.
All right. Okay. Well, that's a new critique that I hadn't heard. But
yeah, because it does not make me identify with characters that just live in some fucking fantasy world where they're just like stealing clothes and none of them have a word on them.
So if you want a favorable review of your movie on NERDICIDE,
football,
you put your characters in generic graphic tees so that Justin can relate more to the movie. There you go.
Don't.
I guess.
What the fuck are you talking about? What? Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Rick Humphries, my guy. They wouldn't have proper washing facilities. Okay, so they can wash their denim shirts and brown shirts to be completely clean. But you just what? You just found fucking clothes and we're just like, just take everything that doesn't have a single amount of color or word or a screen press on. We can't wash. What fucking shirts can't you? You can buy.
I feel like
shirts from the 70s
I feel like
that have been washed
Justin
10,000
missed the
times.
episode. Justin missed the episode where they burned all the graphic tees.
You can buy.
Okay,
You can buy
here's
Ozzy
my take on it. Is
right
whatever
now.
turned people into zombies also removed all the graphics from all the T-shirts.
What does it have to do with underwear?
Those are zombie versions of shirts that they're wearing.
Having clean undies. I'm not talking about underwear. No one sees the underwear. I don't care what's on it. I'm just telling you, it's a flawed show where they just go, everyone needs to wear these drab fucking clothes. You're gonna tell me that nobody has a personality enough to go, I'm gonna wear a fucking pink shirt today because fuck this stupid environment and sad world we live in. That is dumb, and that is how you know that show is flawed, and that the people behind it are they have a rigid frame of mind where that's why their characters are fucking boring. Why the show is now getting canceled because they killed all the good characters and just left Daryl because a bunch of sad Midwesterners were horny for him, and that's why the show is still going. That's the antithesis of why that show is a fail. There's no joy. It's joyless.
Yeah,
He can't.
Rick,
I think you're still spinning.
Rick just wrote what I was going to say, which is I don't watch the show, but I feel like if I was wearing a bright,
It's good camouflage. Okay, well, we're gonna talk about the actual dynamics of that show where they're like, don't make a lot of noise, and then they go right the next episode and go do shooting practice in the backyard. Okay, let's follow like a strict rule of guidelines to stay away from the zombies, even though we do everything to attract them all the time, and then literally murder people we don't know. That show's dumb. Don't argue with me about that fucking show. It's the fucking dumbest show that's ever been on TV. It's dumber than anything Tim Allen has ever done.
Who agrees with you is Frank Darabont. So
good, yeah, because Frank Darabont's a goddamn genius, and my second Robert Kirkman is just a fucking Deadpool fan who got rich. So I'm sorry to hurt everyone's feelings right now.
To be fair, I have a little bit of an axe drive with Robert Kirkman anyway, so it's fine. So
I'm sorry to go on a Walking Dead rant like it's like fucking 2013, but like you guys brought it out.
NERDICIDE, where you can get the hot modern takes.
Get your fucking the hottest takes from 8 years
We're
ago.
so fucking current.
They're so current. They're in 2013.
That was really good. It was like imagine if George Romero was like he had a stroke and then made his zombie movies. That's why.
Jesus Christ.
Game of Thrones so much. We're not gonna talk about Game of Thrones. Everybody who's throwing random shit in the comments right now to try to trigger me, please shut up. Try to stay focused on this pitching idea. And, learn in season 1 that you can keep a jawless, armless zombie with you. You can live forever, but they never do it again. Look, the logic on that show is flawed. That's all I got. Say. And they don't wear graphic T-shirts or shirts or hoodies. Or literally, what did you say about 50% of all clothes has a word on it? 50, 60? I'd say more.
I don't know. That is something that I think is impossible to know.
Negan's just like at his base camp, like, if you see a Nike swoosh, you better be filing that off your fucking shirt. I want it to look like a work shirt, or you can't stay.
Bring me all the red shirts and leather jackets.
Bring if you find a Fila, Reebok, you better burn it.
Oh, Rick Humphries wants to talk about the Snyder Cut. Should we talk about the Snyder Cut?
No.
No. No. Oh my God! Did you guys talk about that before I came on? Is that why you're?
No, we didn't talk about it this time.
We only briefly got into Snyder Cut when Seek was on a couple weeks ago, but he was being so positive and he was so good at finding the diamond in the turd. It was like hard to really rant on it.
He made it really fucking difficult for us to be us that night.
That's true.
Like we were both like, no, well, he's fucking too positive.
I mean,
he's got a point.
Good points. Those are good points. But at the same time, I also like I've said it 1,000 times, like I am not against anybody liking whatever they like. I enjoy making fun of shit. It brings me joy. And like a lot of people will be like, oh, he hates everything. And it's like I also like, and the thing Courtney and I always say is that we make fun of the stuff that we like. So like everybody
it's not worth liking
like,
if you can't fucking rip it to shreds.
I'm like, nah, I also just I get a kick out of roasting shit. It's fun. It's fun. Especially it's movies about guys in tights. Just like it's how can you not make fun of it? Even if it's good, you can make fun of it. So
I get it.
The Snyder Cut, how do I boil it down into simplest terms? It was a better cohesive movie than the obvious two movies jumbled into one, which was the other one, which anybody in the theater who knew the backstory could tell. This is two different people's idea of what's going on. And it felt that way while you were watching it. But that doesn't really mean that like everything that like all of these nerds are so horned up for now is great. And I will immediately go to that nightmare scene, which is one of the cringiest, dumbest fucking things I've ever seen. If they would have ended it on their like high five slow-mo at the end or whatever.
When they assembled?
Yeah, when they do their little like hero pose.
Yeah.
That would have been a good ending for that. Instead,
but then Zack Snyder wouldn't have been able to redeem Jared Leto as Joker.
He did not redeem him. It's just as bad. If I were,
no, it is not as bad. It is not as bad as Suicide Squad.
Terrible, dude.
You might not have liked it, but it was way better than Suicide Squad.
Every single line of dialogue. I don't care how he looked. He could have looked. They could have dressed him up. They could have done a hologram Heath Ledger saying those dialogue. It would have been fucking just as cringy and stupid. That line, those dialogue, Jesus Christ. That's some 14-year-old boy who just read a Batman comic a week ago. Gave you some fucking lines.
You didn't like the reach around line, Justin?
That's so fucking stupid. What are we like? We're already watching a fucking kids thing for grown-ups. Do I really have to be reminded that like I'm trapped in a 13-year-old adolescent stage for the rest of my life?
I felt so trolled. I felt so trolled that in the trailer he said we live in a society, and that it wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, well, that's classic Justice League style. How it all was. But like, people like the audacity of like fans to be like, oh, but the dynamics between Batman and the Joker and their relationship and the way I'm like, Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Like that is the borderline minimum dumbest down 15-year-old fucking teenager shit that if you read like Batman comics for like a year and you're a teenager, it's almost like write some dialogue between like that's what you would get because it's so fucking dumbed down and watered down and stupid.
I really love that.
The most important thing is, which is true to that scene and all of Zack Snyder's movies, and his interpretation of Batman is that is the dumbest. That's the dumbest. Now, I'm not saying it's dumb to cast Ben Affleck or the way he looks or the suit. That is the dumbest in the brain Batman that's ever been on screen. He's a fucking moron, so it makes complete sense that him and a bunch of other fucking morons are the only people that somehow survived Darkseid. Is like these dipshits from like, but somehow Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, who is a scientist, is dead, but Batman, who got fooled by Lex Luthor in a newspaper article, he's still alive, and then Deathstroke, who is just like a hired dipshit, is still alive. Get the fuck all the way out of here with this. Like, that is the dumbest, and I don't care. I don't hate Ben Affleck as Batman. I think Affleck is great. I love Ben Affleck. I don't mind him as Bruce Wayne. I think he has some solid moments in the suit and in like a human suit, like
in a human suit,
like a tie and blazer.
I just want to give a shout out.
Zack Snyder, and Zack Snyder is a fucking horned up perpetual teenager who read Dark Knight Returns and was like, "This is the only version of Batman I understand." Is that he's like, he's just so dark, he's so broken, and then for some reason he's just like, gotta keep the faith, Alfred, goodbye.
I just want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to X, Mrs. Sparkle X, for also trolling you in the comments.
John Barenthal, shout out. If you go back to some Nerdicides in the beginning when Punisher was still on, we got some good solid John Barenthal impressions. I do. go dig through the archives of that fucking shit pile as well.
I just, I like that I'm not the only one out there. So anyway,
like I said, I think the Zack Snyder Justice League is a better movie because it's one vision. It completely makes sense. It doesn't feel like two different things kind of like slapping each other around. But that nightmare scene is terrible. And Zack Snyder, if you cut down, he's a 16-year-old. He's the guy who never grew up.
Oh man.
He's not good. He's just not good. He's good at shooting a bunch of lightning bolts in slow motion, and as far as what
he is an incredible visualist.
Yes, what he grasped from actual superhero philosophy is very minimal.
Well, I saw an interesting argument about this.
Oh yeah, sure, lay it on me.
And I'm not defending his take, because his take is his take, and if nothing else, I think that this movie, this new cut, proved that he had a vision for these movies. It's different from the comics, but it's his vision. But apparently, I didn't know this. He's like a raging libertarian, and he's like very into like Ayn Rand and like that shitty book. Why can't I think of it? But apparently, like a lot of the politics that are in this movie and the ideas. Yes, Atlas Shrugged. Thank you. A lot of the politics that are in these three movies is derived from his libertarian stances on things, which I know, you're rolling your eyes. I hear it, but thank you, Fountainhead Atlas Shrugged. There goes. There are the comments. But a lot of the ideas about like when you're like, God, why does Pa Kent tell Superman like not to help people? Like, it's because it's all kind of derived from these libertarian ideals of, your own liberty, your own freedom, your own, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps kind of thing. Which, by the way, is not Superman and Batman, and I know why that like aches Justin to his core. But it's look, I think him slapping his name on the title of this version of Justice League kind of paints the whole picture. Like, those are his movies, those are his take, that's his thing. You know what I mean? So like it or not, like that's the story he told. It is cohesive when you look at the three movies. It's not my Batman. It's not my Superman, but it's his. You know?
Yeah, because I mean,
So,
literally, even the Michael Keaton Batman was smarter than this one. But
well, by the way,
yeah,
the Michael Keaton Batman is still the best on-screen Batman live action. Thank you.
Jesus Christ. Especially when he hangs upside down. That's so cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Because like a bat. Get it, guys?
Yeah, like a bat. Because he's like a bat. You get it? He's like a bat.
He's like a bat. He hangs upside down.
Listen, I feel like
all the
Batman
fucking-
would actually
fucking
do
ring.
that.
Yeah, there you go.
There's
Courtney
literally no-
buys it too.
No,
Courtney and Tim Burton
either.
are thinking the same wavelength.
Oh, let's not go that far.
Snyder is a great visual director. The thing here's all you need to know. I will say this forever. All you need to know about Zack Snyder is during an interview they asked him who his favorite superhero was. And he said Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
And he directed Watchmen, which he did not obviously understand. And then he directed Batman and Superman, which he does not understand. He doesn't understand the core of these characters and their importance. He just likes shit that he thinks looks cool. He's like, it'd be cool if the Joker had a bunch of badges. But if he did a movie about why the Joker has a bunch of badges on him, it'd be a fucking terrible movie. He's like, oh, it'd be cool if Superman was in the black suit. And then he makes a movie about why it happens, and it's boring. Like, he's just a visual guy who goes, just like that interview he was doing with his wife, where they're like, why'd you up the violence? And he was like, he's like literally saying, oh, because we just thought it looked cool. And then his wife cuts him off because he's a fucking moron and goes, no, it's because we want to really want to make an important point about violence and what kinds of situations that matters. And I was like, no, don't try to save your dipshit husband because he's a fucking moron.
Can I ask a question? Who is Mrs. Sparkle?
Oh, that's our buddy Drew from the Draft
Drew.
Podcast.
Oh yeah, I know Drew. Okay, I met Drew before. I just want to say, Drew, I agree with you. Hugh Jackman was an excellent Cyclops in the X-Men movies.
That's a fine joke, but I will argue with his fucking his comment too. I don't even that's true. I think Wesley Snipes as Blade is the best superhero casting of all time.
All right. Before I go, I just want to ask this question just to make Justin's head explode. What is the best live action Batman movie? Courtney?
The best live action Batman movie?
Yep.
Fucking Keaton's Batman.
I would go between Keaton's Batman and Batman Returns.
God, Batman Returns is just like fucking goth cringe.
So great.
Yeah.
So good.
I like when she drinks the milk.
Batman
That's that same one with the fucking thing hanging upside down. And it's like the penguin's like, oh, what if I ate some fish? And then Burton's like, hey, what if he hangs upside down like a bat? He's like, what if he eats the fish? And then like, what if the Catwoman drinks the milk out of a bowl? He's brilliant. Tim Burton, that fucking pedophile.
See, now when I said that Batman would actually hang upside down, is my thought process is that Batman does a lot of physical weird shit to himself.
Yeah, he just likes to drain
because he's got to prepare for things.
Skull, because it's so healthy.
Well, I'm just saying, like, he's got to prepare himself for like physical weird shit that's gonna happen to him that a super villain's gonna fucking put him through. So he's gonna hang upside down. He prepares himself for this shit. Tim Burton did not think of any of that. He thought a bat hangs upside down, so Batman's gonna hang upside fucking down like a bat.
That's because Tim Burton is like a raging fucking 11-year-old boy in a man body.
Drew's right. It's good for the back.
Yeah.
It's good for the
Good
back.
for your back.
No,
He's
not the
physical.
way he was fucking
Take
hanging.
care of
That's
himself.
not true. Don't try to bring this into
He had
a
a bad
spine
back.
thing.
He had a bad back.
That is not true. He was hanging with the back of his legs tightened around the back of his knee, which is not a good way to hang if you're trying to
Justin,
relieve
you have had a bad back in the past. You know, this is a very normal thing.
Yeah, and you don't hang from your fucking legs like that. That would be terrible for your back. You're tightening all of these parts of your body that you're supposed to be relaxing That's why you hang upside down from those machines. You don't fucking tighten that. Jesus Christ. It's so stupid. Tim Burton is a pedophile. I don't care if it hasn't come out. It will.
What? When did this become the QAnon show? Jesus Christ.
Because he's the Michael Jackson of filmmakers, where he's just like la-di-da in the fucking Disney movie, making everything his little cartoon fantasy land for children. He definitely.
Okay, well,
you're gonna look me straight in my eyes and tell me that Tim Burton has never diddled a child. Get out of here. Look at his movies and tell me he's never diddled a child, or at least physically harmed one.
I don't believe he has. No.
Well, then you're not watching his movies.
Okay, do the research. Do the research.
Bryan Singer is less of a child.
Oh, dear God.
assaulted.
I need to go.
Teenage boy.
I need to go before my image is associated with so-and-so's a pedophile video leaking.
Leave it to us,
He's
man.
Michael Jackson filmmakers.
You'll never direct a Marvel movie again, Joe.
Yeah.
But that, yeah, like I said, I thought I that's my positive review of the Zack Snyder movie. I thought it was cohesive, and I thought it was better.
I thought it was cohesive until it was garbage.
Yeah, but it's still, it makes sense, but it also involves the dumbest on-screen version of Batman and Superman of all time. They're complete morons.
They're libertarians.
They're complete dipshit. Yeah, libertarians are fucking morons. I'll say that on every stream ever. I don't care. But like, that Batman is the dumbest Batman of all time. And then I remember I said that, and some guy in a fucking chat on Facebook or a comment on Facebook was like, he started listing like all of the reasons why it was so smart that Batman did all these things, and I was like, he got fooled by a newspaper article. So shut the fuck up. He literally was just like, hey, all these aliens attacked. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna investigate it. I'm just gonna kill this guy with a kryptonite spear. Why bother trying to figure out what was really going on? I'm just gonna kill him because I'm Batman, and I've had a rough couple of years, and I'm just gonna kill him because that seems like and Alfred's like, don't kill him.
Can I ask one question? One
You can
small
ask
question.
all the questions you want.
Have you watched the Ultimate Edition of Batman versus Superman?
No, because I'm not a masochist.
Okay, so all right, so like I did not like, and I had so many issues with Batman versus Superman theaters.
I've looked at this before,
but I went and I rewatched it before I watched the Snyder Cut because I had heard it was better, and it in fact is, and it actually fills in a lot of gaps. So I will say, the way you feel that the Justice League Zack Snyder Cut was more cohesive, I think you will feel Batman versus Superman, the Ultimate Edition, is more cohesive. I'm just putting that out there into the world to be said. And I've lost him.
and a stroke.
I don't think he's gonna watch it.
I don't think he is either. But like, the things that he's complaining about, are ironed out in that movie. So I'm just gonna let that sit there. So
I just, even then, even if it's slightly more cognitive,
I found that version of the movie was paced better, even though it was longer, because I was
Is the Martha scene still in there?
Because I was more emotionally engaged in what was happening, because it was more cohesive.
Does Batman still brand people, and is the Martha scene still in there?
Yes and yes.
It's a dumb fucking movie with a dumb Batman.
Anyway, all right.
Batman would have already known that motherfucker's name. Do you remember the best adaptation from comics was the cartoon, right? When the animated series was nice when Batman they both figured out each other's secret identities in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was in the Superman cartoon, I believe.
Okay.
Where Batman they met and they were kind of like adversarial, like they didn't know how to feel each other. Batman immediately put like a tiny tracker on Superman, who is a kind of a dummy. Followed him back to his house, looked through his window with some binoculars basically, and was like, "Oh, you're Clark Kent," and then he basically signaled to him, like, "Boom, boom," and then earlier in the episode, Superman obviously looked right through Batman's mask and saw it was Bruce Wayne. That is exactly how the goddamn movie should have went. What are we even talking about here? You have the most powerful beings on Earth, one brain, one fucking brawn and power. They couldn't figure out that they're both like pretty cool guys on the right page. All of the resources you could ever want, they can't figure it out.
Again, it is very much Zack Snyder's vision of those characters.
Yeah, well, Zack Snyder is a fucking moron. He's a moron.
Oh boy! All right.
He's a moron.
All right, I'm done.
I totally understand what he is. Like I said, he's a visual director.
Yes.
He just does things that he thinks looks cool. He likes dark stuff. Maybe he watched The Crow too many times. I don't know what his deal is, but he likes dark shit. That's it. He's like, what if Superman was evil? What if Batman was evil? He never goes, hey, what if Superman was not evil?
Well,
what if we made a movie where Superman was like cool and nice?
Maybe J.J. Abrams' Superman will be less not evil.
Yeah,
so,
Black Superman. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring me on a fucking happy, saving cats and trees Superman, but can also fucking punch somebody in his face. That's what I want.
All right. Well, I hope you get it.
Wait, you never said which one of our pitches won.
Well, I have to pick a winner?
Well, you gotta either deny both of us or send it on to the next stage.
I thought I gave a.
You did.
I thought I gave an answer. I said they were both have their merits.
Okay.
I pick a winner. You're really gonna make me pick a winner?
Yeah.
It's Justin. Of course, he's gonna make you pick a winner.
Okay. If I had to choose between the two, if I only had enough money to make one of these two shows, and I have to make it based off of an executive's thinking, meaning, how are my dollars going to be best utilized?
Mm-hmm.
I'd go with The Thing. Purely on name value.
You mean that movie that tanked?
Yeah, but they'll do it again, baby. They will.
The movie that tanked, and then the prequel.
There will mark my words. There will be another thing before there will be another Night of the Comet thing. So.
Agreed.
Yep. But.
Oh my God! I am the winner.
So there you go. Justin, I broke Justin's heart.
It's fine. I mean, I know that I'm right.
And that's all that matters.
Night of the Comet would be a bomb-ass TV show.
I agree. I said I was
I'd retire a
in
billionaire.
the position of an executive and making an executive's decision. So there you go.
It's fine. It's all fun and games. I just like talking about Night of the Comet. And I was happy to do so.
I'm glad.
Oh yeah, man.
Well, guys, thanks for having me on again.
Always,
sorry
my
about your
guy.
career from
It's
here on out.
always so much fun.
It was fun. Well, let me know when you need me to tell Justin he lost again. I'll gladly come on and do that.
Fantastic.
All right, boys. Happy Saturday night. Bye.
Thanks, buddy.
Sleep. Now it's back to 2. I'm gonna pee immediately. I gotta go so bad.
Fantastic. can't believe I won. Now I want to watch my show. That'll never get made. Yeah, he's in the bathroom again. And Joe, again, I apologize for your career and the trajectory of it now. That Justin had said all of that shit. But keep in mind, he said that. I didn't say that. It is hilarious, though. Apparently. So mad he had to pee. He's got to pee about it. Well, thanks everybody for chiming in. That was fun. This is probably one of the funner episodes we've had in a while. Appreciate it.
Can everyone leave?
No.
Do we lose all of our followers?
There's still people on.
Drew, Martha Scene. Drew's just trolling, so I'm not going to read any of his comments until he decided to act up and get right. Here, I would never troll on a draft pod, okay? I just knocked my shit over. Goddamn cords. Everyone hold on. I fixed it.
Joe, we need that on a t-shirt.
Confidently, he says, watch Justin P. I mean, you want to see that. I mean, that's your thing. We all have our kinks. I would never shame. Let's go through some t-shirts. Let's send everybody away from everyone out of here. Look at this shirt I got.
Fuck yeah.
Got the Halloween VHS stack from Studio House Designs.
That's
Fabulous.
fucking rad.
Fucking shirt. I love the CBS Fox. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Anything to make your co-host upset. I haven't been upset since 2019. Inside joke. Another one.
Oh, you son of a bitch. God damn it. I need that one.
It's still in stock on Studio House website. The regular black tee. The tie-dyes are all gone and shit, but the regulars, which I like best, are still there. So I'm literally still waiting for the Return of the Living Dead prints to come from Rucking Fountain. He did a post last week that said 10 days until they were starting to ship. I keep checking the shipping thing, and they still haven't sent yet.
Damn.
I have been waiting for that shit for so long to send it to you and a bunch of other crap that I have to send to you. So when it finally shows up, you're going to get that fucking Tarman shirt. I got this from Rucking Fountain. This is one of the
God
big troubles.
Dude, that fucking low fan shit at the top with the light coming out of his eyes is amazing.
Yeah, this is because I couldn't decide when I got it. I was like, I couldn't decide the colors, which the other one's on the bottom there, so I'll get to it last. But I also got this one, the They Live Wrecking Fountain.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I basically got all of my t-shirts for summer. Had some cash, and I was like, I'm gonna get all my t-shirts for summer now. Then I got the tie-dye Freddy stack.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
The box set. Literally everyone left except for Drew.
Well,
They're
get him on here.
Drew,
Get
just
on
come
here,
on
Drew.
and talk to us, you dumb dink. I got this GNR gray and black wash, which is pretty rad.
That's cool.
Because people wear Guns N' Roses shirts like, oh, it's just like a shirt. But I actually like Guns N' Roses, so I got the sweet old school Ozzy.
Oh, wow.
Super cheap. People wouldn't think like, oh, Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova, my God. Cheap, super fucking cheap rock shirts. Great vintage washes. Oh, this is the other one. Hold on, let me see here. How do I do this? Freezing. I don't know how to do it. I was trying to like just add Drew on there, but it didn't work. So I got the other color.
Oh, nice.
But this is the
green one is better, though.
So it's like it's got the extra on the sleeve. I couldn't decide between the t-shirts, so I was like, oh, I'll just get the one as a long sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
I like this one a lot, too. And then this one, which I think... Oh. I got this other old school Ozzy, which is one of my favorite pictures of Ozzy as the dragon thing. I love that fucking artwork. And then I got this Metallica, which, like, getting a fucking Metallica shirt that looks like it's from, like, 92, it just came out, like, just for, like, $15. I mean, you can't beat this.
Well, with the fucking pus head artwork, too. That's fucking sweet.
Yeah, like, I mean, look at that. That's the old school Metallica logo, the whole thing, like, the one on the bottom. Like, I love shit like that where you can get, like, a t-shirt for, like, $14 on sale, like, and, like, motherfuckers are selling vintage shirts for, like, $300, and I'm just like, okay, go fuck yourself. I was like, I can buy one off one of these websites for nothing. I think Drew's gone. He's gone. Drew! I don't know how to... I can't figure out how to... Where are you? Are you in a Hawaiian shirt now?
That's what it's looking at, yeah.
There, I got it. I'll stay up for 12 more minutes and then I gotta go.
Took it into the bathroom. There he is.
There I am.
He is. What's up, tough guy?
Hey.
I don't see it.
You don't see me as a tough guy?
Mine still says waiting.
It's like, nah, he's not a tough guy.
That sounded a lot like, go fuck yourself. You partake in the WrestleMania?
Yeah. It was the subpar night for sure. I think tomorrow will be better.
I literally still only see 2 fucking boxes. I still don't even see Drew on here.
Well, hopefully it shows up.
This is whack-tacular.
What the fuck? Now he's gone.
I don't see anything.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah. I heard Drew earlier, and
You just couldn't see him?
didn't see him.
Well, he's gone now.
Got kicked out. Beep, boop.
Technology.
Let's see if this works.
Does this work?
I mean, I hear you. Hey, I see you, but you're paused.
Okay.
That's fine. So that's how it's been all night for me with everyone. So
I want to try
Look at
this
this.
again.
look at
What's
this
up, tough guy?
I don't see it.
Is she dead?
Is that a belt buckle?
It's actually a pin. Look at
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
See the pins on the back there? This is one of those big fancy ones. Oh, look, Draft Pod
Great.
official has joined. Now let's all turn into the Draft Pod.
Man,
Who
What do
wants
we
to
draft?
rate
The
chips?
Walking
Okay,
Dead is the
everybody-
greatest TV show of all time.
Everybody, we're gonna do a break of potato chips, potato chip flavors. Here we go.
Oh shit, dude! You just threw out a good idea.
Sour cream and onion.
Balrix just did. Balrix has a sweet Thai chili that I got the other day.
Ooh.
It's like the greatest thing on the fucking planet.
I'll be up in June. I'm gonna have to find those.
Fucking Bradner Mall, man.
Bradner Mall.
Mule fart.
Oh. Sure, it's that.
Bradner Mall. That's great. Yeah, man. That was. Sorry, Justin. There's something about Joe. It makes me want to troll you.
I don't care. It's like if you throw pebbles at God. What are we gonna do? What are we talking about here?
Jesus Christ.
Ouch. Ouch.
Oh wow.
What are we doing here? You know, it's like well, first of all,
What did
Joe's
you
terrible
expect,
at
Drew?
trolling.
Yeah, I guess that.
Joe's terrible at
That's about
trolling because he says the same joke. And then I don't troll Draft Pod. I give genuine feedback and comments during your live streams.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. No,
Solid.
I can see the pie was a bit much.
The pie was honesty, my guy.
We're
didn't know
doing,
that many pies existed.
Next month we're doing, or April 30th, we're doing party movies. So, oh shit,
Hey,
What's up, sweetheart?
it's a true
What's up?
versus.
yeah, man, I was naked, so I had to wait a minute.
Naked.
Now I'm upset.
Yeah, you know.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I brought Andy on just now.
Oh, cool.
I did that. To talk about a little DMX.
His god powers.
A little
Yeah, I was
DMX
gonna say.
love for the episode. We need some DMX love for this episode because it's gonna go
Right.
out, and then we're not gonna do one
My
for
bad.
a while. So
Yeah, man, we're James and I are actually gonna do like a little tribute thing. Play a few of the songs and stuff on that, like that, for Flow and Tell. But like that 1998, dude dropped literally 2 platinum albums, which is like one of the craziest runs ever. I think he and Tupac are the only ones to ever do that ever in rap history.
yeah, it was a
Which-
wild time because I was not a big rap person. Around that time, I was still listening to like metal and like in a very like punk phase, which was my briefest phase. But that was such an easy segue for me to get into rap. DMX, because of his aggression and his vocals, it was very much like, and he had Manson on the first record and shit or whatever, like, or was it the second record? They came out like basically at the same
Damien
time.
too.
Yeah. So it was
Yeah.
like,
Well, I mean, plus he wrote those albums specifically for you, so.
for me,
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, those are both dedicated to you.
Yeah, to God. He's got that whole prayer to you.
I thought you were Damien. I didn't know.
I'm so happy you picked up what I was putting down, Drew.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, let's just disrespect this man with jokes, but that's fine.
Wait, are you talking about him or you?
I'm still alive. I did not die tragically.
Those who are immortal cannot die.
He seriously just throws out like this fucking, we gotta be respectful. A man's dead. And then fucking like,
yeah,
I'm still
an
alive.
important man. Not just a man. Because like people die every day and they're just like boring pieces of just trash.
No doubt. And
some people change the course of people's lives with their art. And those people, while I don't think are necessarily more important, but in a way they are.
What was
if one
crazy?
of us died tomorrow, it affects very, very few. 20, 30 people. DMX dies. What was wild is like because like we all knew it was kind of coming right from the news and like the brain injury and stuff, the lack of oxygen or whatever the story. So I was waiting for it, but I didn't want to like start listening to DMX records. And then I did when it finally came out, and then I had forgotten so many songs. I had forgotten so many records that were just like so important and so great. Even from some of his less popular albums, like his fourth or fifth albums, some of those
like
songs,
Year of the Dog.
Yeah, like some of those albums have some real fucking bangers, man. But like my favorite DMX song is the Mech Shit from the Rough Riders compilation. I love that Rough Riders compilation so much. And that DMX song is like the best for me.
That's fair. Yeah.
I fucking love that song. And I also love How's It Going Down? Like that fucking song.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever like, if you're like me, you've had sex with a lot of people's girlfriends and wives. So that song really resonates with you.
Yeah.
As it has me over the years.
What These Bitches Want, that was your other one, right?
I mean, what do these bitches want, really?
Dude named 27 women in the song, and like it's an iconic song, and like women are still like, what these bitches want, and you're like, wow, like that's reach, like for him to be able to do that, and then they're cool with it still.
I think that song is amazing in the same way that I think the Girls Jay-Z song is amazing because they're super misogynistic and terrible, but like also just corny enough to be kind of lighthearted. So like you can get kind of past with both of them.
But yeah, I first heard him 97, I want to say. It was on 4321, which was an LL Cool J track.
Oh, yeah.
And he shined over everybody that was on the track. And it was 4321 was the song LL Cool J and Cannabis got into it because they were both on the song. But also Method Man was on that song. And DMX was like, he shined over everybody and people really didn't know who he was. And then he took that and then turned it into those two platinum albums in 98. But the crazy thing about him was dude literally like brought people from the hood like all these different trips and tours and stuff like that. So he wouldn't spend all of his money on like cars and shit like that. He was constantly just giving back to the hood that he came from. So pretty cool.
And I don't know, DMX always just seemed like on a record very authentic, very much like not the guy you would want to run into in a bad situation. And that to me is a very punk and also a very metal thing. Authenticity in certain genres, like where you just ooze it, where he just oozes authenticity. Like Like there are certain metal performers where you just go, oh, that guy definitely made a deal with Satan. Sound like that.
That's what he's talking about. Yeah.
And like DMX was like that guy. Like he sounded like he would beat the fuck out of you. He looked like he would beat the fuck out of you. But at the same time, you would watch videos and he'd be just so full of life and happy that he just. I just saw another clip today where like he was like outside of a club talking to somebody, and the car rolled up and they decided to start playing his music, and he was just like getting hyped, like lip syncing the songs for the people in the crowd. And I was like, Jesus Christ, Jay-Z wouldn't do that.
No.
Jay-Z would not even acknowledge his own song being played from a car.
Right. Yeah.
Well, there's that clip going around right now of when he was on Chappelle's show, and Chappelle sets it all up where he's like, dude brought his fucking like music, and you could just push a button and it would play one of his songs, and he would just go straight into it, and he didn't have to do that. Like he almost played like the entire fucking show, and all he had to do was one fucking song, but he would just keep going. He would play into it.
As trash as like Woodstock '99 was or whatever the fuck, watch his fucking performance in the overalls. God damn, that dude did performances. I am sad I didn't get to see him in the late '90s, early 2000s perform because he laid it all on the table like a lot of guys in bands do, where he's just like completely exhausted at the end and has nothing left to give. Those kind of performers are one in a generation, especially in rap, where they literally have the luxury of just lip syncing over their own records played. And he was a guy that was just out there, like, just sweating to death, just giving every...
He'd be, like, crying on stage because, like, he literally would go through every emotion. What's crazy is I remember, like, when I would have the CDs in the car, my wife would go to work, and, like, they would be like, what are you angry about? And she's like, I don't know. And then she's just, like, figured it out. She's like, oh, you had your DMX CD in the car, and I was listening to it on the way to work, and it literally impacted the way that I felt. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just crazy, because I've been listening to it all weekend, and like I was listening to it, and I was like literally getting hyped up just listening to him. Like,
I was gonna say, crazy. Now you're ready to come on Nerdicide.
Yeah, like everyone who wants to come as a guest on Nerdicide should have to listen to What's My Name before they come on it forever. That fucking song, I forgot about that song in a weird way, because like that used to be such a fucking banger in my Celica. Like you have no idea. And to not have revisited it in so long, because like I think like I had a lot of songs in playlists that I've made in the last 5 or 6 years from his first and second record, but I kind of like I had let some of the records after those first two kind of just fall behind the wayside as things do.
Yeah.
And I was listening to What's My Name. I was pulling into a Target parking lot, like I'm gonna get out of the car and I'm gonna baseball bat the first person I see. I was just so fucking just like, oh my god. And the amazing thing about art like that, where any movie, like, because people are like, oh, rap, whatever, blah, blah. Any kind of art where you look at a painting and you get taken to a place or whatever, to be able to hear a song and to feel like you're fucking invincible in that moment is amazing. Right. And I don't see it as a negative or a gateway to crime, because I obviously did not rob the Target or kill anyone inside, even though they didn't have any toys I wanted. But I did walk in.
That's why you didn't rob it.
But if I did walk in that place with a confidence, and maybe still more in a more normal moment where I wasn't kind of reflecting on a man's passing. But Jesus Christ, the effect of that kind of art to have on people's confidence, especially people who live in certain kind of areas or who grew up a certain way, because DMX obviously was not born rich, and he struggled through a lot of different shit to become the biggest artist at Def Jam. And people always forget that he was bigger than Jay. that Def Jam gave all of DMX the money, and Jay had to struggle for those press in those years because DMX was so big. He was in movies. Jay-Z was never in any fucking action movies. Get the fuck out of here. Like, can you imagine Jay-Z running around?
Dude,
with
yeah.
I can't. I just
Cradles
can't
and Grave, Exit Wounds, Belly. Like, DMX was in some, like, bangers of movies, man.
Yeah, he really did it, and because like I said, the authenticity was there. He just reeked of it. Like, he just looked like a guy you don't want to mess with. He sounded like a guy you don't want to mess with, and that kind of shit you can't buy, you can't fake. And
yeah, he
some
popped
of those
off
records
the way Pac did.
Wait, what?
He popped off screen the way like Tupac did when he was doing his movies. It's like, oh shit, like I believe whatever they're saying in their particular role. It doesn't feel like they're trying to act. It feels like they are that person.
Yeah, it's too bad Tupac didn't do any movies about being a ballerina or whatever the fuck. That's a Pac diss.
Yeah, I got.
What's that line in the He Manchu song? Fuck. Oh yeah, I'm so New York. I still don't listen to Tupac, and that song came out in like 2015. That's how I feel. West Coast rappers from the 90s who dissed East Coast rappers from the 90s, I still haven't forgiven them.
Yeah, I was big time into the West Coast growing up, so like.
What? You were in fucking Florida, wherever the fuck you were. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? West Coast?
I know. Yeah, I loved rapping Forte. Like, I loved a lot of these fucking West Coast rappers and shit. Like,
oh my god, now there are some West Side Connection songs that completely fucking bang, and obviously King has some fucking lethal fucking records. But like most of the '90s shit, like it's so corny. I hate those beats. I hate those West Coast '90s beats.
I was into G-Funk. Warren was my guy.
Who?
Warren G.
Warren G. Or what was that guy? That song about how he was like short or something.
Too short?
Not too short. I wish I was
a little bit taller.
Oh, CeeLo. Yeah, I love CeeLo.
That's West Coast rap to me. I wish I was a little bit more.
Baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her. I wish I was a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" Paula. I wish I was like 6'9" so I could get with Leo.
This motherfucker got the lyrics down.
I know.
Jam.
Kilo was my guy.
Kilo's my guy. I love it with the Forrest Gump routine and everything. This would be so much more fun if I didn't just have 3 rectangles with circles spinning. I literally am just staring at 3 paused images. That's how it's been this whole time I've been on. I really got to figure out what's going on with my phone.
Well,
did you guys have a bunch of
know that we're all
restarts
shaking our head every time you say something. We're just
You like this?
No.
Agree.
And then well, you can't see it, but we're
bowing.
We're giving you the word. You're not worthy.
You're smooching. You're just like kissing the screen.
We're blowing kisses at you.
Hey, I got this X-Men pint glass set. Nothing to do with DMX. There's a Cyclops glass in there, and a Storm, and a Magneto Wolverine. I'm gonna sell the rest, but I got it for the Cyclops. This was the last of the things I had to show off for the. Just had to get it in there before we go. I think that's it. Anybody else have any final words you want to say about DMX or Zack Snyder?
Zack Snyder. Okay, cool. Stop doing such long shit, man. I ain't got time for that.
I can't imagine that movie was intended to be one part. Like one.
Right.
Well, it was. That's how the script was. If you read the interview with the screenwriter, like They wrote it that way.
Wow.
It was one movie always. It's just like, I'm sure they assumed things would be cut, but that Terrio screenwriter, he just did an interview recently where he was like talking about how he thought the Whedon cut was a travesty and he tried to get his name pulled off of it, which makes sense if your movie gets made and it's not like what you want.
Right.
But also his version is just slightly better. So he's being a
Dude,
bit
but
of
not everything needs to be in fucking slow motion. It doesn't make it cool. It doesn't make it neat. It
Makes it longer.
Yeah, you're just dragging shit up because you can't do anything but visual shit. Like,
Yeah, the Flash shit should have been in real time.
yes.
It'd be amazing.
like he just stands still. Like, no, I already did it.
Trust me, guys. I did some shit.
It's like the Chappelle.
I just did some more.
Everything slow-mo.
Face is itching. Look at my face.
Look at his face.
Oh man, what'd you do?
Tune in to the first part of the episode on YouTube. And I post it. You obviously have not been following my social media very closely.
We were watching WrestleMania and doing like a live stream.
Was it bees?
It was
I guess I'll just tune in and find out.
It was COVID. Got me again.
It was definitely COVID related.
I got both vaccines, so everybody can spit in my mouth now.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
I got one vaccine and then I fainted and then I smashed my face and head on a concrete sidewalk.
What? Is that real?
Yeah.
Real. It's really real, bro. Out here in the streets. Gang, gang.
Yeah, for real. Well, the second one hit me pretty hard, but not like that.
I took a personal day at work the day after I get it, my second one, so.
Yeah,
I just got let everyone know that Drew has been frozen. I'm gonna try to mimic what is like on this is what I see on Drew's corner. His box.
I mean, it's kind of what I've been doing for like the last.
That's all I see. What with a hat? Wait, hold on.
Yeah, break out that Cyclops hat.
Amber.
What a great hat to pick.
You look like a G.I. Joe.
This giant fucking hat. I have a monster's head, and somehow this hat is still too big.
It looks awful. It looks so bad.
You guys like Cyclops? Pick up my hat.
You look like Malibu's Most Wanted.
You guys remember that movie White Boys? Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
That was a dark movie.
I like the sequel, White Chick, though.
This is the kind of hat I would wear if I said things like, keep politics out of comics.
Dude, the fucking hat is so big when you have it on backwards, it looks like a kangaroo.
It's so bad.
I only own hats that are way too big or that don't fit at all. Because they're just like whatever I get on sale.
Who the fuck was that made for? Jesus Christ.
I don't know, like Chris Gump? I don't fucking know.
That's a desk cat. That's a desk cat. That hat wasn't built right.
I got a lot of hats. I think so.
You got a 920 head.
I got this hat. I don't think this one fits. Ooh! Circulation.
Yeah, those snaps.
That's definitely like a child's hat.
Yeah.
Ooh, this one is it says medium large, but I have a lot of hats. This is not all of them. There's a bunch more somewhere. Here, this hat. It says Zap. Here's Cyclops cooking a turkey leg, which makes no sense.
Oh, that one's fire.
And then I have this one, which also does not fit my head. This is a child's hat.
Oh man. Yeah, you got a
Welcome
nine.
to NERDICIDE, where we wear funny hats. You tuned into the right night to watch Justin try on many hats.
Welcome to Hatticide.
I can't
We're
even
on the-
joke
we're
with
on the
try to
hearts,
put this
man.
on. It's too fucking tight. I think this one's too big too. Oh yeah.
You should when you post this, don't say anything about Joe Russo being on. Just say I tried on a bunch of hats. And they have to watch for 2.5 hours before you fucking pull out a hat.
Hey everybody, I'm LP from 2012.
Oh man.
This motherfucker's a liar.
Look at it fall off my head.
He didn't try the hats because they won't fit on his large ass head.
I have a very football shaped head. It's not big this way. It's long this way.
Yeah, you got a dad hat head.
So like,
Look,
I don't wear
get a
hats.
toy of him.
And now I have a chunk of
Yeah, there you go, Court.
a chunk here where I hit the concrete where I have no hair. So
Jeez. Did you get knocked out?
I fainted, bro. Now
So
I
he
got
was
hats
out.
falling out of the
He
closet.
was out before he hit.
Exactly.
That's wild.
I apparently faint when people stick needles in me. I'm glad I'm not gay because God knows what a dinghy would do in my beehole.
Yeah, it'd probably be bad.
So, but you don't faint right away.
Huh?
But you don't faint right away. You faint like a couple minutes after somebody sticks a needle in you.
Well, it's only happened twice. So I got blood work done, and like it was maybe 2 minutes after they pulled the needle out, and I was just sitting there, and I felt lightheaded, and I fainted. And then when last week when I got the first COVID shot, it was like about 4 minutes after. So I was like, I had already gotten the shot, made some jokes to the nurse, sat down on a chair that was 6 feet apart from my girlfriend. So I was sitting on the chair, and I was like talking about how I feel like a little tingle, and then I was like, oh, I feel a little warm, and then I was like talking about how I felt, and I just keeled over.
Damn.
And I hit the concrete.
Damn, man.
Damn, man.
She needs to get better reaction time if she's gonna social distance.
She was literally in shock because I was like in mid sentence, and I was just like,
On the concrete?
Just think,
yeah.
if the Flash if the
Sidewalk.
Flash were there to run slow mo, he could have saved you.
yeah, could have put a hot dog in my mouth.
You just wake up with a hot dog in your mouth.
That'd have been way fucking better.
Penis drawn on your forehead.
I would have much rather had that than like losing a giant chunk of my own hair and bleeding out of my face and my knees, and then have to go to the hospital for fucking CT scans.
Jeez.
Wait,
Where were you sitting?
I'm confused
Well, like,
by that.
it was like the vaccination place was set up at like a church. It was a volunteer center. So the waiting area, you have to sit like for 15 minutes or whatever.
Yep.
So like the waiting area was outside in this very long, like alongside the building. It was like a stretch of sidewalk.
Oh, okay.
So like there was chairs. They were just spaced out like 6 feet, and Rosina went first, so she had sat down already, and I came out and I sat down, and then I was talking to her, and that's all right. Lights out.
Damn,
boy. And then, yeah. And then, all this happened, and then I got smashed face, and then I lost some big clump of my hair. You can kind of see it. It was way worse.
Yeah.
It's very pink now, but like it was all scabby and bleeding last week. But
And that was
I
just
didn't
your
have any
first.
brain damage.
That's good.
And that's why you always wear a helmet, kids.
Yep.
You would know if I had brain damage because I'd come on and be like, "Yeah, that Zack Snyder movie's good. I love The Walking Dead."
Do you have a Cyclops helmet?
No, I've looked. There are X-Men bicycle helmets, but they only have Wolverine.
Oh, okay.
If there is a thing that exists, I've tried to find a Cyclops product with it on it.
Have you ever had a
Cyclops
Cyclops
condom?
pie?
Cyclops pie, no, but I have cake toppers.
Close enough.
Yeah, I actually have a cake topper coming tomorrow. Tapper, just met her.
Tapper.
That'd be wild if they had a whole X-Men series of condoms.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me in the '90s. I mean, but they were mostly geared towards kids. So I have like the shaving kit, and I have like toothpaste and comb.
Nothing says kids like a shaving kit.
Right?
Yeah, it's a fake one.
I was shaving my balls at 10.
It's right here, actually, and I have it.
Here you go, Jim.
It's so accessible because it's going to be on the.
For all those 9-year-olds with mustaches.
Crazy.
Yeah, the '90s were wild for X-Men stuff. There was a brand called Kid Care, and they made all kinds of like bathroom shit for X-Men bathroom shit. And this is one thing: shaving cream, a fake razor, and I
Oh, okay.
guess
Oh, okay.
cologne.
So you learn how to do it.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
it's mutant play shave. The razor contains no blades, and this one has a cologne in it too, an aftershave.
Just what you need at 10 years old. Some cologne.
Look at
It's
the
actually
kid.
just brute.
He looks like
Yeah.
a man. Look at him.
It was
Wow.
actually Brute. It was Brute 28.
Yeah.
They still hadn't quite got the formula down.
I just posted
Like, let's just sell this to the X-Men people.
This is what my dad had. I slapped it on and it like burned the shit out of me. That's the first stuff I ever used.
With
I just
brute?
posted this on the fucking Cyclops Instagram the other day.
I did see that one.
This is the X-Men cologne.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's the smell like?
It smells like shit.
All
Just
right.
brute.
Woo!
Smells like
smells like-
Tommy Hilfiger.
It smells like the pharmacy section of cologne. You know, when you go in like a pharmacy and look at their colognes. That's what it
Yeah.
smells like.
It's just hydrogen peroxide.
Right.
It's definitely a cologne.
I mean, it probably is at this point.
This one was $16 on the shelf.
Way too much.
They also make a Wolverine only cologne and a Storm perfume.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah. 2006 was a weird time. They were desperate for any X-Men stuff at that time.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
like
a
when
big
Von
loss
Dutch
with
was
Von
hot.
Yeah, on Dutch. Yeah. That's when Marvel didn't give a fuck about who did anything with X-Men because they had sold all the rights. But on that note, let's go. I have a good idea coming up. I think we could all play. I'm still working out the kinks,
Mm-hmm.
but it would be good for all of us if I could figure out a way where we can all get the cards. If we have to print them ourselves. But it's basically a combination of like horror movies and the card game War. So I'm working on that. We all play War, but with movie titles.
Oh, so you just 1, 2, 3, boom. All right, who has the better movie?
Yeah, and then there's little extras. I'm working on it.
You and Courtney will argue for 2 hours over one movie, though.
No, because that's why we have extra people to go. Okay, well,
We'll still argue. To think that we won't argue is ridiculous.
Just
there are
that
some things
movie
that are
that-
inarguable.
I
Like
guess.
for example, if I had a card that said The Thing, and you had a card that said Bride of Chucky, which one's a better movie?
Bride of Chucky.
That's fair.
Here is my thing from earlier, by the way. I
Oh,
actually
God, there we go.
No, I like Justin's idea for a TV show better, but I think that just the namesake will get Courtney sold first. But I feel like you have a good He'll get on like a network, and you'll get like a Netflix deal, and it'll be the better show.
Right?
Yeah.
I can see that too.
Yeah, I mean, Night of the Comet is like a passion thing, so
Yeah.
for me, it's like I get why a lot of people wouldn't like it, but I also think like as a person that writes stuff, and I actually tried to flesh it out at one point as a real thing, and it was working really well. And the only reason I stopped is because no one gives a fuck if I'm doing it. So it was like, why am I doing this? No one is gonna read this. It was dumb. Because it's one thing if you're an already established person to remake a property, but if you're just nobody, they are never going to read it. So it's pointless. In other news,
Well, now that you have the Marvel's
Netflix
Joe Russo
now?
attached to it, maybe you can make it.
There you go.
I mean,
Andy, what's on your shirt?
I always dreamed that like if I ever made it with a project,
Nothing?
that
No.
Night of the Comet would be like a thing.
Justin,
where like, oh, you can...
Stop talking for a second.
Yeah.
So the math you did earlier on graphic tees,
Uh-huh.
me, you, and Drew have shit on our shirts. Andy does not.
Yeah. So just the math.
75% of shirts have something on it.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's why Walking Dead is a failure of a show.
I just
At
wanted you
no
to feel
point in that show
valid in your argument.
is
You know what's
anybody
you know what's funny is Joe brought up a thing that I brought up a few months ago. Like the whole reason I always was like, this show's so stupid. If everybody if there was like this thing killing everybody would just join together, and like I couldn't stand the infighting, you know. And then this past year was like, maybe I should revisit Walking Dead because that's exactly what happens.
Yeah. I think to an agree. I agree there, but I also think what Trump and the Trump people kind of proved is that fantasy will always be fantasy, and that sci-fi, like if you're hoping for an end of the world scenario where like all the government leaders come together and build a ship to try to save everyone, that's never gonna fucking happen. We're all gonna die. If you're thinking that anybody's ever gonna come together in some big form to save everyone, no, we're all gonna die. There's never gonna be that.
No, my thing was just like if there's 6 people and you find 4 more, you're probably gonna get together.
Yeah.
And not want to kill each other, but not in that
Most
show.
likely. Most likely, but also you have to strip away all of like already established like things that people like practice and preach. That is why I like Night of the Comet, because it basically eradicates like 98% or more of the world's population. Whereas Walking Dead is kind of like based on who could survive it. Also, Walking Dead is stupid because they are zombies, and after like a year or two, they should just rot into skeletons and can't walk around anymore. So it's like fucking dumb. Whatever. Like they're just out there like a decade later, like, man, these fucking corpses, they just managed to hold on to all their skin and bones and everything and just walking around, but still fine.
This is sound really dumb, but Cannibal Corpse has a fucking song called Shatter Their Bones, and it's about like fighting like a zombie horde, and it's literally just shower them with fire and then like burn all their skin and shit off, and then when they're on the ground, shatter their fucking bones, just smash them. It's not hard.
Yeah,
it makes sense. Fire's easy. It was like the first thing we came up with that fucking kept us alive was fucking
That's
fire.
also like a thing where like if you literally were like up in Alaska or something, zombies in the wintertime are absolutely fucking useless, because if they're walking around below freezing, they're gonna freeze and be stuck, and then you can immediately just dead. So it's like Walking Dead has a lot of problems, And they never wanted to. The problem with Walking Dead is they've never had an end game with that show. They never had an out.
Yeah.
As if you don't have an out, if you don't have an ending of any story, you're gonna have a bad story. You should always have an ending. If you're
No, and
writing
the only
something,
reason that fucking comic got made is because fucking he lied about the fucking ending of that fucking book. Where he was like, oh yeah, it was fucking aliens. And they were like, that's fucking awesome. Go ahead and make it. And then he just made whatever it is now. And he was like, oh, that was never a thing. Fuck you.
yeah.
Like zombies in space.
Something like that.
It
Zombie
sounds like
in
denial and pretentious, but like if you don't
It's a show.
have an ending for any story, you don't have a good story.
Yeah.
Your whole thing when you come up with an idea, you should really the beginning and end or should like the parts where you're like, this is why it's good.
Most of the
Especially
people
the
that
end.
I
The
talked to
end
that
should be
have
why you have a good idea.
successfully
Like,
made
and
something
you
said they
fill
had
the
a
rest in. If you don't have that, you don't have a good story. And that's why Walking Dead is trash. Because it never had an out. And you can see why it stagnates for seasons on end. And their only way to keep people interested was like, what if we kill a character that everyone loves horribly? And then people watch it, and they all watch it, and they go, oh, I don't like this. And then every season they lose the fucking viewers because that's all they have.
That's when you got to put it on HBO and just show some titties.
That won't work either, bro. That won't work either. Things need an end.
True Blood says different.
Anyways, I got this cool necklace.
Yeah, you did.
It's an upside down cross. I'm in that stage in my adult life
Good
where
job.
I'm going to wear necklaces now.
I feel like you shouldn't have a shirt under the jacket, then.
Yeah.
That's a lot of nipple and very scraggly chest hairs. Nobody wants that.
I don't want to see your bathroom rug.
No, you don't.
Bathroom.
Bad enough all those nurses saw it.
You just lay down and your girl vacuums your chest.
Yeah.
That's not what I call it, but sure. All right.
All right.
10:30 Pacific Standard Time. Time for me to go. I'm going to go watch a horrible movie that I downloaded and then eat some more duck and then go to sleep.
All right, fuck a duck.
Enjoy your night, buddy.
I should be. Also, shout out, my mom is coming next week. I'm very excited about that. I want to mention on the stream. My mom, I haven't seen my
She
mom.
actually popped on earlier. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
Tell her I said hello.
She's probably half awake. She's probably in bed, like, oh, and then put her phone down.
She remembered she was going to see
Tuesday.
it soon.
I can't wait. I haven't seen my mom since Christmas 2019.
19?
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Last year was a complete wash. So she's double vaccinated and ready to go. So she's coming out here. And that's why we're streaming tonight. And we'll be streaming next week. But we'll stream after that.
Actually, I am.
What?
I'll be streaming with Chud City.
Oh, yeah. You better make that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
I know. I'm terrible.
I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to say that needs to be said about any movies I've watched.
Already?
Godzilla vs. Kong. I think that's all I remember watching. That's it.
That's it.
Falcon and Winter Soldier is okay, and everyone should just lay off of it. Just leave it alone. Stop being mean to that show.
It's like you said earlier, they can't all be on game. It's just a fucking show with secondary characters.
People are just they're too needy and they expect too much and they want like greatness all the time, and it's just like, just be happy with what you're getting. You're getting a show that's like halfway decent about like Falcon. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
His power is mechanical wings. So like, please don't critique the show.
That's fair.
Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. His power is mechanical wings, and he's getting punched by fucking superpowered fucking people.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
And he got
Like-
fucking snapped out of existence for 5 years.
They're not turning his fucking sternum into dust every time he gets punched in it.
Just do 20 on your left jokes and call it a day.
I like the show, and I really like Zemo, and I think it's great that he's finally becoming like a full blossomed villain, because in Civil War, it was only very, very tiny bit. So I like to see villains fleshed out. So for me, it's a win. I like Zemo. I like that actor. I can't remember his name, but he's great.
Anthony Mackie.
That is a black man.
Yep.
Last night I fell asleep to a movie called Block Island Sound. I don't know what that was about, but there was some dead fish. Oh, I watched that.
What are you
Oh, you know
talking
what I
about?
watched?
I don't know. I feel like this definitely should have ended by now.
Yeah, this is the part of the
Now
show
this is
where
the
you have
stream
to
of
listen
consciousness, Justin.
to listen to what I've watched. So let me strain my brain to remember what I've
This
watched.
is like a shitty Def Jam poet thing.
It's like, hey, we're gonna end this show. What did I have for dinner 3 days ago?
Lamb burgers.
Can we all
Last
just
week
leave
I
and
watched
let him keep
Chaos Walking with Tom Holland and what's her face from Star Wars. That was bad. Don't watch that. Oh, we lost one.
I don't think we lost it.
Oh, it's fine.
All right, I love you guys. I gotta fucking go.
All right, man. Later, y'all.
Love you, Justin.
Hold on. Let me think of some more things to talk about. No, I should really get off this thing.
All right.
It's been real. I'll hit you up about the war game. I should have some kind of updates this week. I'm gonna try to make it make sense.
Oh yeah, that sounds fun.
It'll be fun. I think it'll be a good way to like talk about movies in a new fun way.
We'll have to pitch another genre to Joe sometime too.
Yeah, that was fun too. Any unique and interesting ways to talk about the same movies that we like is always fun.
Oh yeah.
I'm off to eat some duck and take off this jacket.
All right, brother.
All right, love you, buddy.
Love you too.
Peace.
Night.